Alrighty, welcome to a semi-final in this Virgo Cup between Mancos Walleros and Team Secretito. It's a Category C matchup between these two awesome teams. They have gotten so far, they have made it all the way through the group stage, the round of 8 final, the quarter final, and here they are in the semi-final, so let's go. Alright. Let's introduce our players. We're gonna start with Red for no reason. In the red, we have the Zeus playing as the Vietnamese. Alright. In the yellow, we have Negan playing as the Burgundians. That's what we expected. Burgundians are pretty good in Arabia. In the purple, we have Tomichiwar playing as the Dravidians. Alright, that's fine. In the teal, we have Cobrakar playing as the Vikings. Alright. In the green, we have Davide Spin playing as the Berbers. Alright. And then, last but not least, in the blue, we have Juan Camon playing as the Chinese. That makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of aggressive maps in this pool. And Kawasan, which is a hybrid map. You'd say, oh, but you can wall up, you have fish, right, for Chinese. But you also lack some wood with Chinese, which does set you back if you wanted to go for fishing ships. So really, Arabia is the best map, I'd say, for Chinese, given, given the other maps in the pool. This makes a lot of sense to me. Chinese are a pretty good civilization. They have all that savings on your economy. You get more farms, more food on your farms, and this applies to your entire team as well, which is kind of sweet. Alrighty, for Berbers versus Burgundians. Ooh. Yeah, that's an interesting matchup. It's quantity over quality. Burgundians get the better cavalry overall, better knights at least, but Berbers get camels. So then there's that. Now, especially with Burgundians, there's a bunch of important windows, right? Timings with your military that are important. That's early Castle Age and early Imperial Age. The reason for that is that Burgundians get the Cavalier upgrade in Castle Age. That basically makes up for the fact that they don't get bloodlines, as you can see up there, right? It gives them that HP because that comes with the Cavalier upgrade, but it also gives them +2 attack over normal knights, which means that you do have the better knights in Castle Age. Then in Imperial Age, you get Paladin for half the price as well. Still without bloodlines, but still it's Paladin. So it's still stronger than any Berber cavalry that the Berber player could make, except for Heavy Camel. And this is where the lack of bloodlines really hurts you, because the bonus damage that camels do versus knights negates armor. So you need HP to counter that, and bloodlines is what you need for that. So in Castle Age it's still okay, because you have the Cavalier upgrade, but in Imperial Age, Heavy Camel absolutely destroys Burgundian Paladins. Like, it's not even close. Like, even Frank Paladins struggle against Heavy Camel. Burgundian Paladin are going to absolutely get wrecked. Now, of course, it's not like the Berber player can or should just go for camels straight, right? If you do that, that basically means you cannot fight around the flanks because they'll be making archers, and archers kill camels very easily. So, if this happens, the Berber player should have to focus on the Burgundian player's base and not really be around, you won't be able to really be around the opponent's flanks. Will not be able to defend his own flanks as easily if they're under siege by crossbows. So I think it would still be better for the Berber player, despite having worse knights, to still make knights, because remember, they're cheaper. You can make more of them. Yes, that's why I say quantity over quality. We have blue running, must have run into the TC. Also was fighting this villager. Red's still gonna fight that. Alright, blue's just gonna run away now, as he should. Don't lose your scout, obviously. Especially with Chinese, you do not want to lose your scout because you still want to be able to push in your hunt. Kind of important for the Chinese player because you lack some food, don't you? Of course, Red Vietnamese is... eco-wise, it's not that different. At least Vietnamese get... they don't have to pay any wood on their economy tax, so they get us... they get some savings on their eco tax as well. Of course, Chinese save on every technology, which is kind of nice. Vietnamese have the better archers, though. They have more HP on them. And they can make the Rattan Archer, which, of course, is, maybe one of the best archer units in the game. They have extra pierce armor. It's an anti-archer archer, as I would call it. Last, before, everyone makes it to the feudal age, as you can see, players are starting to click up here. Doesn't look like we're gonna get a whole lot of men-at-arms shenanigans. Maybe from Teal, actually. Maybe from Teal. But Teal had some idle time, so he's slightly behind. But he is gonna click up here. Okay, so probably not men-at-arms then. Or is he going to make some? I mean, the barracks did go up before he clicked up, so that makes me think he may want to produce some men-at-arms here, but we'll see. Anyways, it's Vikings versus Dravidians. Vikings are the better Sith, but Dravidians have the better archers because they actually get thumb ring, which Vikings, they don't get it anymore. Yeah. Ooh, the Dravidian player is actually making men-at-arms himself. Alright, did he scout what Teal was doing then? No, he didn't. So he's just going to do that without scouting his opponent. Ironically, the Viking player not making men-at-arms here, which would have had more HP, which makes them kind of tanky. On the other side, Blue is also making men-at-arms with Chinese. Ooh, that's a tough build order though. That's a lot of resources to invest. Again, Chinese economy is always kind of, you know, unstable at the start. It's always the tricky part to get through. Once you get through that start, that's really the biggest downside to picking Chinese. Then you can basically just do anything. So that is fine. All right, we have a gold kind of in an open area for red, and then as you can see, the men-at-arms are being sent that way. Of course, blue knows exactly where the gold is. Hitting the berries is not a bad idea either, because early food economy is really, is really stretched for the flank player. They need the berries in order to keep producing villages. You hit the berries, they will have to idle their TC or invest wood in farms. Either of which is not a good option, really. You want to get your archer ranges up instead. As Teal! Oh, he made a hole to let a villager out to help build, but that lets the men-at-arms in. Oh, luckily Teal did notice that in time, so luckily the men-at-arms aren't going to be able to get in all the way. Ooh, is Teal going to try to trap them? Let's go. Let's go. I think purple, he's going to try to break in here. Teal's going to try to trap this army, and the army is now trapped. Ah, the men-at-arms aren't going anywhere. And purple just realized that. Now he's like, wait. Ah, no. Oh, purple. On the other side, blue does the classic men-at-arms into TC and not get that upgrade anymore. No, took too much damage now. Blue indeed is not getting that upgrade. Probably hard to afford that anyways with Chinese. And yeah, at this point it's just a distraction, which is, it's fine. I guess on both sides, men-at-arm rush is not that successful. Now, that one of purple is still alive, but of course, Teal's going to get some archers out, which will have free range to kill these men-at-arms with ease. Now, of course, Teal's wood line is pretty much denied at the moment. It can't, it's not really efficient enough where you'd say it's still a wood line, especially if those villagers are not going to do anything. So, the purple is still doing some damage, right? It's fine. And again, purple needs to do damage because remember, Vikings already have the wheelbarrow upgrade, as you can see, as purple loses his scout. And oh, purple breaking out as well, as Teal did not wall or behind this palisade wall. But I guess the men-at-arms rush is still alive. Wow. Of course, archers will be on the field now, although Teal does not have the gold to make more archers at the moment. So, for now, that men-at-arms rush can still do some damage. Lion killing an archer here, but the blue just realized that. Alright. And red is sending his first archers forward without fletching. Okay, but he will probably get that upgrade at some point. Yeah, blacksmith is up. There you go. Alrighty. Alright, let's go for some action. Of course, we're waiting for the scout players to get their scouts on the field. Looks like we have a scout melee in front of Yellow's base. And Yellow actually not all of his scouts were here. So he did take some damage there. Okay, green running in here, trying to go for a kill. As Yellow's going to fight with villagers. Yellow scouts are here, so green is going to have to abandon this little raid without killing a single villager. There's one very weak scout in there for Yellow. Although Yellow did idle his villagers a little bit fighting those scouts. So again, tiny bits of damage are being done here. Alright, blue thought he would have a nice wall off on the left, but unfortunately palisade walls are kind of flimsy, aren't they? As blue opens the walls to let his archers out, he has the numerical superiority, runs out, and tries to kill these red archers. But again, no fletching would certainly help here, wouldn't it? Alright, and blue pushing that army away is just going to go back to his own base now. Meantime, the scouts, the scouts hitting purple in the back. Purple did not have those walls up yet, also losing 2 villagers now to an early scout rush from the Berber player. This will draw in the scouts from Yellow as well, which is nice because then maybe no reprisals will happen against the Mancos Walleros team. Okay, Yellow is still trying to get in here, and purple is getting absolutely wrecked. 3 villagers down already, and green can just run right away and join up with Teal, who is under siege now by archers from purple. Teal only with 5 archers yet. There was certainly a delay in there before he got his archers up. He's also investing heavily in walls at the moment as green is running away from Yellow. Alrighty. Blue slowly moving forward. Blue wants to place a tower now. That tower should be 1 tile further. 1 tile. So it actually ranges the wood line. Oh, what? He places it 1 tile back. Why? Now it actually doesn't range anything. Blue. I thought he moved it. So I thought he's going to place it 1 tile further, which is where it should be. And now he places it 1 back. I'm not exactly sure what the idea was there. That's not going to range. Alright, green with 3 scouts. Not sure if he's going to be able to clean up this many archers. No, I don't think so. So he's just losing some scout HP. That's not too good then. 8 scouts on the field for green, though. He's still outproducing yellow, who wants to go to Castle Age first. There you go. So yellow clicking up now. Will be in Castle Age before green. But green did damage. Yellow did not. So... And green still has the superior army at the moment. So if he can clean up this army, which is probably what he's thinking of doing right now, then teal may be able to push forward as well. In the meantime, on the left side, we have a little skirmish between blue and red, with both sides taking losses here, but blue losing more archers to red. So red micro must have been a little bit better. Also, remember, Vietnamese archers are the superior archer here, with their extra HP, are more durable. Anyways, blue now... with a tower. I mean, red is finally chopping into the wood line to the point where he will actually be ranged by the tower. So the wood line is denied for now, but the Chinese player also forfeiting the possibility of dropping a town center in the next age unless he mines stone or, of course, buys stone. Alright, yellow taking a fight here. Yellow cannot get bloodline, so his scouts will always be worse than the Berber scouts, which is why it makes sense that the Berber player stays in feudal age a bit longer and the Burgundian player goes up faster. As the Burgundian player actually taking a good fight before upgrades come in here for the Berber player. So I like this fight for yellow because this means that his teammates will be safe as he goes up to the castle age. Green still is yet to click up, so the Burgundian player is going to get there first and we'll have Cavalier in the field before Green will even be up. So this is fine. This is totally fine. We have a forward stable now from blue. What? A forward stable? Man, this Matt lad, that's crazy. I mean, I guess Chinese get fully upgraded knights, so sure. Don't know about that one though. I don't think you need a stable here. That's probably not going to do much. But, hey, we'll see. We'll see. I am not going to judge a strategy until it's fully executed, whether it has succeeded or failed. You know, we'll judge that in hindsight. But if I have to look at, you know, just think about the past when forward buildings have really made a difference, especially when red, because one villager, for some reason, went all the way around, happens to scout that. Wow, that is super lucky as well. Red now Xing that to his team, so now everyone is aware that there's a stable here, and you can bet yourself that yellow, once he makes some knights, he's probably going to send one to the left to deal with that straggling villager. So, yeah, now we know for sure that stable's not going to do too much. Nah, for sure. If yellow's actually going to send a knight, that is. You do want to clean up that villager. Yeah, blue building an outpost. There you go. Yellow sending a knight. Again, that's makes a lot of sense. We have a little bit of a team wall now between green and teal. That's quite the wall off, actually. It still means that green is open in the north, unless he walls with blue as well. But I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get that one up. Remember, his map control is about to expire since since some cavaliers have joined the field. Now, remember, with that extra attack, those are the superior unit on the field at the moment. Now, that green decides to start with camels is okay because he will be behind in knight numbers as is. But again, I still think that it is better to just stick with knights and just make more of them than the Burgundian player and cancel out that extra attack that way. The reason for that is very simple. Knights can actually attack purple and actually attack red and not die to archers, right? So that's kind of the whole thinking behind that. Camels can only fight knights. That's basically it. Because you're gonna have to produce and waste so many camels trying to kill archers. It's just not worth it. So with these camels, you can either support your archer army and protect them from cavalier, or you can go for a straight attack on yellow's base. Yellow's not going to be able to defend himself against full camel. Like, even with cavaliers, it's not going to happen. Or unless he, like, overproduces a lot, which hurts his economy. You know, it's not that you can kill his economy with camels, but you can at least keep yellow in his base, right? This will force one of the flanks to come and help yellow. We've seen it happen plenty of games, and the camel player can certainly be super dangerous with that. Alright, well, blue, of course, cautious to not lose his archer army. He's getting thumb ring before the crossbow upgrade. Oh boy, I think you should get crossbow first. Yeah, he queued it behind, so instead of this archer range making the crossbow upgrade, it's now coming in after thumb ring. So that's going to delay blue's crossbows significantly here. Alright, purple, of course, all flanks kept their armies alive pretty much. So here you have purple now attacking on the right. He knows that yellow has gone to the left, but nonetheless decides that since green is up so late, there cannot be that many knights on the field just yet. Alright, there's still a lot of camels here. Again, green is behind in numbers, so it's 14 cavalier versus 9 camels and 3 knights. So making some camels here, not the worst idea, but it will be an awkward fight if yellow sticks with red. And that's kind of the important thing. This is what yellow should be doing, right? You can't fight the camels on your own. You just keep next to your crossbows and look at the camels get slaughtered by the crossbow fire. Yeah, green cannot fight yellow if red is nearby. But if yellow abandons his position, green can certainly try to attack yellow here. Yeah, that's good. Getting some free hits in here without red being able to punish that. Okay, here comes blue. Remember, blue and red. Red has the better archers, as you can see. Look how much more HP they have. As the camel player takes a fight against the cavalier. The cavalier player knows he needs to kill the crossbow mass here from blue, and blue should be sniping red's crossbows. Don't try to fight the cavalier. It's not worth it. Let the camels do it. You need to snipe your opponent's crossbows because they are killing your camels. At the end of the day, the camels for the Berber player just enough to kill all the cavalier. But the problem is now red has a significantly more crossbows here. Red, though, trying to fire at the camels for green. Green is doing a great job dodging those shots. As a result, red's getting some free hits in here. And at the end of the day, I think red will have to call off the attack and go back home to regroup. In the meantime, blue will drop a castle forward on this hill, kind of, in a very prominent position to stop any approach from red. But because red is now regrouped with its reinforcements, blue is going to have to drop that somewhere a little bit back. Red marching forward. He may see that castle. Can blue buy enough time here to get that castle up? Castle on the way. 30%. Let's see. On the right hand side, purple still skirmishing outside of the walls, and teal is just keeping himself safe. So all eyes should be on the left side, as the camels are not in front just yet. Blue taking some necessary losses here. Purple moving towards the castles to snipe all the villagers, but it's 94%, 96. That castle will go up, and red will take some damage as he walks away. Yeah, he tries to split micro his way out of there, but yeah, he still takes some losses there. So blue, despite having fewer numbers, will be okay now, as you can see, because he does have a castle in the front. That will just direct red to go to the left here to try to break through, but blue did a good job since last time to wall behind there with buildings, so red basically cannot really attack on the left hand side. We'll have to go to the right side now. Right, Mangonel now coming out for teal to defend himself. He's still behind in numbers. It's 46 versus 32. So teal certainly is going to have to make up for that. Teal is on multiple town centers now and has the better economy. Remember that. For every moment that the Viking player is alive, they will be ahead of you in eco. You may have wheelbarrow, but the Viking player has handguard now. Ooh. Alright, one crossbow. Clearly didn't get the memo that there was a castle over there, so yeah, I guess he paid for that with his life. As yellow getting caught off guard by green, and green's camels are getting a lot of value now. Nice, nice, nice. Now this is the moment, right? This is after this fight where the camels completely clobber the Burgundian cavalry. This is the moment where you start making knights again. Now, green is producing from 3 stables. That makes sense. He is Berbers. It's cheaper for him to do that. He's also on 3 town centers now. Yeah, exactly. After that raid, that fight, you should be booming now if you're green. Green is already at 72 villagers, but 71 vills for yellow. So it's a really close call between the two. But yellow did lose a significant portion of his army there. So again, at this point, you just start overproducing knights, basically. And you will be able to hold on with the few camels that you have. Tower for blue is still up. That's what yellow tried to kill, which is why green knew where yellow's army was. Look at that watchtower actually doing something else than just firing at the barracks, actually giving some critical intelligence to blue and green, which allowed them to catch yellow's army off guard. Alright, red of course has the bigger massive crossbows, and red is on the way to Imperial Age. Alright, red should not move out with his army until he gets the imp, gets the upgrades, because then there will be nothing that blue and green can do to fight red on the field. Because blue is not going to be up in imp anytime soon. Blue is booming on multiple town centers. Blue does have multiple castles. kind of a good idea for the Chinese player to do that anyways. As red, seeing that his opponent are moving towards yellow's base, decides to chase that. Now green has to turn around and come back, but I'm not sure if green's going to have the mass here necessary to fight this. I don't think so. So blue's just going to have to move back home as red spends some time destroying an outpost, allowing blue to escape with the few archers that he has. Blue's still rebuilding his numbers, but blue will have to face the Imperial Age might of the Vietnamese player soon. On the other side, we have purple still laying siege to teal. Purple is looking to click up maybe. He's got 2 buildings already, but he doesn't have the resources for it quite. Teal getting Hals is still defending himself with siege as it is a 1-for-1. Alrighty. Teal could maybe soon take a fight here against the Dravidian player. He's not that far behind in numbers anymore, so we'll see. If the Dravidian player decides to break through the house, we'll see what happens. On the other side, the Camel player now attacking yellow, and look what's happening. Red sending his archers to the right, probably intending to defend yellow from camels. Again, something that yellow is going to struggle with because you only have Cavalier. Yellow also decided to go up the Imp himself, which means that he invested a lot of resources now in going up the Imp. Won't be able to match the production from the Berber player, you know, even if all things were equal, which they're not, because it's cheaper for the Berber player. Alright, Imperial Age now for red. Blue now knows he's going to have to play the defensive role, which means it's critical that teal manages to break out of his siege. He needs green for that, so green's probably going to have to abandon his little raid here. He killed a few villagers, you know, 3. Not really the biggest deal anymore at this point in the game when both players have more than 80 villagers. Although green has the bigger economy, green is not close to clicking up yet though. He still needs a lot of gold. How much does he have on gold right now? Only 10. You need to increase that. Yeah, you need way more on gold right now. Just send a bunch of villagers, bam, to gold. Not the wood. You don't need wood. You got plenty of wood. Go to gold. Go to gold, green. You need gold. Ooh. Purple thought he was walled, but he's not walled. There's actually a hole between those houses here, as you can see, and the Berber player manages to find that. Purple has not reacted to that just yet, and Purple's going to lose some villagers here to the raid from green. Let's see what that does to red. Red's army, of course, is completely out of position. It's not pushing blue right now. Blue actually just kind of raiding inside a red space. But, blue, why'd you do that? Blue, you're crazy. Your opponent is an Imperial Age, and you're not yet. Why not wait for upgrades? Well, blue is going to try to kill as many villagers as he can before he loses his army, because he will lose his army. There's no doubt about it. But my god, he is getting some value for this army right now. Look at the Vil count here. And, whoa, holy crap. Purple also not noticing this raid from green in time, loses 21 villagers. Red losing 17. Ooh, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Now, that leaves us in, gives us a very interesting situation. A situation in red is still losing vills. Red, ever thought about pulling back your vills? You can run your vills away, you know. Alright, well, 28 villager kills is totally worth it for losing that army, because now we're in an interesting situation, right? We have Team Secretito. Everyone is an Imperial Age, right? But not with a lot of imp. Right now, they have more military. They have the stronger military. But the longer this game goes, once Mancos Walleros get up to imp themselves, this is going to get really bad for Team Secretito. They are on a clock now. Their economy has been hurt. Maybe irreparably so. Especially for red. Red down to how many vills? 33. Ouch. Yeah. That means that if he loses his army, it's going to take a long time before he can repair that. But there is 96 arbalests on the field. He's got a lot of arbalests. It's going to take a while for blue to fight that. Blue, of course, lost his mass, so he only has 26 to counter that. Paladin is on the way as well for yellow. He's almost there, 20 seconds away. Then these units will be really strong. This will force the Berber player to just stick with heavy camel, because Cavalier, even in mass, are probably not going to be able to do it against the Paladin player. So at this point, heavy camel is kind of your only option. It also means that green has to stick with his flank body, because he can't fight, again, once there's arbalest around, which will absolutely destroy. Alright, well, yellow and red are preparing themselves for a final push against this castle. They're probably going to get out some siege as well, but because red was hurt significantly, it's going to take a while for him to afford siege units, which is slowing them down considerably. This is really helping Mancos Walleros who, you know, right now could get hit, you know, by an early imp push from Team Secretito, which is what yellow is thinking about. Okay, how is this under siege? Is blue going to be able to push to wall behind here? Probably not. I'm not seeing enough action here. Green is here as well, but green is still getting the heavy camel upgrade. It's still a minute away, so is it going to be in time? As blue is coming under siege now. Paladins, though, kind of stuck in a choke point, which is negating their numerical superiority. As red just waltzes right underneath the castle, which is not firing at it right now because it's busy firing at the paladin. Blue is getting overwhelmed now. He did a lot of damage to red, but he is about to suffer a similar fate. A fate maybe worse by the fact that there is a lot of paladin here. Green now has heavy camel, all 10 seconds away, but he does not have the numbers. There's only 30 units right here. There's already 62 paladin on the field. This town center is toast. Is absolute toast. There's enough arbalest here as well, which means that green cannot really engage on this side. So things are not looking good for Mancos Walleros at the moment. They have made it to imp, but blue doesn't have an army. He still has an economy now, but his base is getting cleaned out at the moment by yellow and by red. Oh boy, oh boy. As some light cap raids. Well, you're probably gonna have to use those resources for other stuff right now. I mean, a nice little raid on yellow's base, you know, killing a stone, that's fine. As green is still spamming in the cavalier, the halberdier, I mean, not cavalier, because there would be no point to that now. And green is gonna have to fight a rear guard action to kind of save blue as much as he can while the paladins come forward. Now, if you can draw the paladins away from the arbalest, you can certainly take fights. Oh, nice shirt. Why, thank you, Tino. Why, thank you. You like it? It's Jake. Oh, wait, it's here. Jake. I always forget that my webcam is mirrored, so that kind of confuses me. Alright. Again, castles right now are saving blue and green at the moment, because at least red, until he brings out some siege, which he has yet to do, it's going to be difficult for him to fight prolonged actions among these castles, because he will lose arbalest. Alright, at the same time, we have a forward castle now for purple, which is stalling out Teal. Teal's not been able to move out of his base at all during this set. He also was behind Imperial Age, which is good for the Dravidian player, because that's always difficult to do against Vikings. Blue still losing mass here against the Cavalier, the Paladins for the Burgundian player. Yeah, blue, you can only run your villagers so far. And as long as yellow and red stick together, there's little that can kill them right now, as blue is trying to rebuild his army. Now green is massing cavals as well. Should probably fight these little reinforcing armies. Yeah, there you go. This is good. This is good. Lessen the arbalest number by fighting this kind of an army. There you go. Yellow leaving them unguarded. He's now taking a fight he should not take there. Oh, yellow, this is a good fight for green. This is exactly what he needs. In the meantime, a panic castle in the back of green's base. Green will get that castle up. That will save a bunch of his villages there. Nicely done by green, as arbalest and paladin make it inside his base. Of course, cleaning up this army did help a lot. There's only 50 paladin on the field. As you can see, the production for yellow will start to slow down as he runs out of gold and food. Alright. Still, to deal with these arbalests, he's gonna need a miracle, because camels simply can't do it. Camels simply can't do it. You're gonna have to kill these paladins as much as you can. Arbalests on their left though, so the paladins are kind of unguarded right now as green starts to take out little groups of paladins that were raiding around his base. Green still has 105 villages, but most of them are have to take shelter now in town centers, which are slowly crumbling, or fast crumbling, to the Vietnamese player and the paladin player. Again, Castle still saving him for a lot here. On the other side, Teal finally breaking the siege of purple, also bringing out some skirmishers with all the upgrades, which you should place in front of your arbalest right now. Teal, put these skirmishers right there in front, so that purple fires at them, not at your arbalest, because now Teal did take some significant losses there. Remember, Vikings without Thundering do have worse. As wow, green, deciding to take a fight here against red, manages to clear up all the arbalest with the help of blue, who is actually doing the real damage here, the real DPS. There you go, 26 kills for blue, nicely done. With that, green and blue saved their base, have withered that early imp storm, and this is what I'm talking about. Look at the production position for red. He's only slowly rebuilding his army. He has 55 villagers. He can't afford to make a lot of Arbalest at the moment. So that makes a lot of sense. If you weather that early Imperial Age storm, it's going to get better and better for Mancos Walleros now. This was a critical moment. Alright, Yellow sending in his paladins to the right-hand side now to deal with the skirmishes, and those skirmishes will get killed as Teal saves his siege and his Arbalest. Well, I mean, he's trying to, but if he's going to, that's the question. Green will probably have to send his heavy camels this way now, but of course Green did take some significant losses as he takes out a Doughty Sea right there, which was being built by Yellow. Yellow also building a castle over here, which Green does not know. Not yet, but he will find out the hard way, which is when his villagers start dying to castle fire. Alright. Heavy camels now coming in, of course. The same applies over here. As soon as there's Arbalest for purple, it's going to be difficult for Green to take a fight here. So Teal needs to snipe this. When you are playing with camels, the flanks need to fight each other. The camels will deal with the paladin. There you go. So Teal needs to fight this right now. Just snipe those. Purple is trying to drop a castle. Teal, of course, immediately laying siege to that as well. Heavy camels, though, are doing a great job killing those paladins, even though they're outnumbered. Whereas Teal is... Teal's struggling to kill Purple's Arbalest, that's clear. Purple still has some Arbs, only 27 though. Has reboomed to 91 vills because he actually had 4 town centers to produce from. So right now, Purple in a better position than Red, that is for sure. Castle for Purple will probably go down though as 3 trebuchets are here shooting at it, but without any heavy camels, of course, these skirmishers cannot fight against the Arbalest, as Purple is desperately trying to keep this castle up to buy some time for Red to get back into this game. Although we have Blue switching into Cavalier at the moment. Whoa, that is unexpected. Cavalier, which lack upgrades, by the way. So Blue, if you're going to do this, you need the final armor upgrade for sure if you want to fight against Red, which I'm not sure he does. Red, of course, renewing his attack now, his assault on Blue's base, but this time he's going to have to do it the slow way by actually pushing past castles without Paladin support, as the Paladins are still massing on the right-hand side. Alright, mostly skirmishers now for Teal. He can fight Purple now, but he can't fight Purple if Yellow decides to join the fight. Green's camels got a little bit antsy there as Yellow storms in, charges at the skirmishers, and the skirmishers are going to get absolutely massacred. Green, of course, being pushed away by the Arbalest, was not here in time. And again, the positioning for troops is a lot better for Team Secretito as the Arbalest take out incoming camels. Although the Arbalest now too far away from the battlefield to help the Paladin. The Paladins are dying again to the heavy camels. And again, like I said, it may be Paladin, but it's Burgundian Paladin. They lack that HP, which makes it really difficult to fight against heavy camel. Slowly but surely, you see the Vil lead come into play for Mancos Walleros. They're making more military at the moment. It's 130 military versus only 90 as the castle crumbles. And the GG is called. Team Secretito realizing that this is not going to be their game as they are simply outpopped. It's just going to get worse as Mancos Walleros defending their homeland, defending against that early Imperial Age wave for Team Secretito, takes the first game. Nicely done. Alrighty, Team Secretito tapping out will go to their first home map. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, this was, again, the early imp, right, from Red could certainly have killed Blue, right? I think what was critical here was the successful raids on both sides at the same time. First, it was the crossbows for Blue who managed to break into Red's base. Red's Arbalest were completely out of position, were not able to defend his base. Now, he did have some Arbalest in his base. Blue could have fought that, but of course, crossbows versus Arbalest, that would have been silly. So instead, Blue went for Vil kills. And Red, I don't know why, but he refused to move away his Vils, lost over 28 villagers to that raid. That is totally worth it. At that point, Red's economy was completely bust. Now, he did have a large army, which still threatened Blue. You saw how much damage that army did to Blue and Green. They could have easily been overwhelmed there, but they built enough castles. They got just enough military out to stall out that early push. And again, Green fighting those reinforcing Paladin armies on his own without Red being there were critical as well, lessening the Paladin numbers and certainly making his army a lot less strong. And then when Red lost his army over here, that basically meant that Blue and Red were all on even foot, except Blue had an economy, Red did not. On the right hand side, green got an awesome raid in the back of purple's base. By the time that purple reacted to that, he had already lost 28 villages as well. Now purple did have 4 town centers, so he did a great job rebooming at the same time. And purple was managed to hold on to a defensive position on the front to stop Teal from reinforcing his teammates on the right hand side. Right, Teal had to defend his own base from a siege. Of course, when the attack on the left side failed, you know, purple was about to get overwhelmed here by skirmishers and by cavalry from the green players. So yeah, this is why they call it a GG. So those two things combined, again, Team Secretito could have won this with that early imp push, but unfortunately the defense, fortunately for them, fortunately for Mancos Walleros, their defense was good enough to hold on and then let their economy come into play. Awesome stuff. Yeah, there you go. Right there. You can tell, right? That giant ball of archers, once that fight was taken, Mancos Walleros could start outproducing Team Secretito with their better economy. Yeah, and even though it did take them some incredibly strong fights there, even though their KDs weren't actually positive, they still did the trick, and that's the point. It's about production and getting those critical fights right there. Of course, the economy for Mancos Walleros is better here. They did outboom Team Secretito pockets. You know, there's 4,000 resources difference there. It's not a whole lot, but remember, Berbers with the same amount of resources make a lot more cavalry. So, yeah. And of course, yeah, the flanks especially were behind, especially after that raid. And you can tell by the villager highs, red especially was kind of behind at that. Yeah, right there. Look at that critical raid. Kapow. Right as he manned up the Imperial Age. That was a critical raid. Same with purple. Did take a bit of loss there as well. But purple's economy was bigger, so it was less of a blow. Alright, fastest player here was Blue, Juan Camon. Yeah, building all those castles, huh, and saving all his villagers. He definitely needed the APM for that. Alrighty. Good stuff. That was only the first game. It was an awesome game. Now, this is setting the tone for the semifinals already. I mean, these two teams seem very evenly matched, even though Mancos Walleros is taking the lead at the moment. But can that last long? Well, I don't expect so. Of course, this is a best of 5. We have 4 more potential games. Before we do that, though, let's have a look at the draft. So first, let's see. We had a Berbers win, we had a Vikings win, and a Chinese win, all right? We lost with Vietnamese, and we lost with Dravidians, and we lost with, where's Burgundians? There you go. All right, so looking at the home maps now, we have 2 maps here that Team Secretito could go for. Wakachina, we have not Socotra, as you can see. Both of them very aggressive maps. Now, I've seen them play on Wakachina a lot as well. My guess is that that's probably the map that they're going to pick, right? Because they've won a bunch of games on Wakachina. It's a map that they feel comfortable on. So it makes sense that after a first loss, you want to go back to a home map you're very comfortable with to tie up the series, because that puts less stress on the rest of the games. If you lose another game, you know, you have to reverse sweep at that point. Psychologically, it's better to just go 1-1, 2-2, and then the deciding game. That is better for the team psychology. Alright, so given that, we will probably get to see Wakachina. Let's see what civilizations to expect for that. We need a strong cavalry civ. I'm thinking Slavs could be pretty good there with the spam. You know, they're pretty good on open maps, you know, because you get better working farms. Of course, the late imp transition into something else, like boyars or siege and infantry, but the latter being unlikely, is of course kind of tricky to do. Because there is fish, and I have seen Team Secretito taking advantage of that fish before, Japanese, Malay are all fine as well. Yeah, for maybe Koreans are good as a good flank civ could work. Maybe an eagle civ, not the worst idea here, like Aztecs or Incas, either one of the two. I think Incas may be a little bit better because there is actually stone on this map. So if you wanted to get some castles up, towers up, Incas will get a discount on all their stone buildings, can easily afford all of that. On the other side, for Mancos Walleros, what could they go for? I'm thinking about maybe Malians could be good. Although Malians is also good in Kawasan, because Malians save wood on their buildings, so you can actually dock on the maps that have fish, which Wakachina does have fish. Magyars is a great civilization as well, but I think Mancos Walleros are going to save that one for Atacama, which is their home map. That leaves us with Khmer is good, Huns are good as well, as the pocket says. Not really sure what flank civs we're going to go for. Maybe, I've seen players try to go for Mongols, try to go into cavalry archers. I've not seen that work yet, but it can work if you get enough of an advantage. But given the fact that this is the home map for Team Secretito, Mancos Walleros may want to give up some of their weaker civs, like Bohemians, Sicilians, civs they don't want to lose on their stronger maps. Maybe Turks, you know, we'll see. Alrighty. You guys ready for the second game here between Mancos Walleros and Team Secretito? Let's go. Let me find the right game file. And we'll see what map that they picked. Where did they go? Oh, yeah, there they go. And haha, I was right. Haha, it is Wakachina. It is Wakachina. You guys ready? Let's go. Perfect. All right, I'm gonna have to change some colors around because, of course, people picking the wrong colors. There you go. Perfect stuff. All right, welcome to the second game between Mancos Walleros and Team Secretito. Good stuff. We have gone to the home map for Team Secretito since they lost the first game. This will be a map that they are very comfortable on. However, I've seen them play on this map before. I've seen them do well on this map at the same time. So I'm expecting that this is probably going to be a pretty good game for them. Let's have a look at their civilizations. In the purple, we have Tomichiwara playing as the Koreans. All right. In the yellow, we have Spanish for Negan. Oh, that's unexpected. Unexpected. Spanish it is then. Now, Spanish get fully upgraded cavalry, so it's not like it's a bad pick. But, of course, they're more known for their Conquistador play, which, of course, is their strongest unit. In the red, we have the Zeus playing as the Aztecs. Now, this was to be expected for an aggressive map for either Atacama or even not Socotra. Having Aztecs on a map like this with faster producing military buildings definitely helps you get a lot of military out and puts pressure on your opponent, who is Juan Caimon in the teal, playing as the Huns. All right, Hun flank then. Interesting. At the same time, we have Magyars now for Davide Spin, deciding to use one of their strongest pocket civs on an open map. That's interesting. All right. And then in the blue, we have Cowboy playing as the Turks. Now, the fact that they picked Magyars here means that Mancos Walleros are kind of confident, right? That they can win this game as well, right? Because if they did what I said, which is yielding some weaker civs and expecting, okay, we're going to try to win, but if we don't win, it's no big deal, then they wouldn't have picked Magyars, because Magyars would have been good on their own home map, which is Atacama, a very strong open map. Not like Magyars aren't strong on this map, don't get me wrong. They are certainly one of the civilizations I have in mind when picking this map. Although there is certainly some civilizations that could do other things as well. Let's have a look at this map first. We'll talk about civs after that. Now, of course, first of all, you have a pond in the middle. There's a bunch of relics in the middle as well. But if you want to get those, you have to transport with a priest. And that's a lot of micro. That's why rarely anyone does that. It's just you don't have the time for that really in most games. There is, however, a lot of fish in the middle as well. I mean, not a lot. There's some fish. But again, it's a little bit of economy that is fairly safe from enemy raids if they don't find your dock, that is, and try to kill your fish on water. Now, this is why a hybrid civ isn't the worst idea for this map, right? Like Malians, like Persians, although that was banned. Lithuanians would be good as well. Yeah, Magyars are a more land-based civ. I don't think green is going to dock. Not sure what yellow's going to do, though. He may dock. Now, of course, as you can see, this is very much like Atacama. You've got a lot of clumps of wood around your base. There's not that much wood in them, but more than on Atacama. So you can actually take these wood lines for a good while. It does mean that your base is fairly open, as you can see, so don't expect to see a whole lot of walling from these teams, especially if you intend to play this aggressively. Now, most of the wood is in the corner, as you can see. There's a giant wood line in each corner, right? It's kind of open as well, so you definitely need to be careful when walling in your villas. There may be paths to your wood line from inside the forest. And you may be wondering, hey, what are those things? Those are smoke monkeys. They don't do anything. They don't attack you. You can't attack them. You probably don't want to do that either because they have a lot of armor. So I don't think you want to provoke the monkeys. Don't provoke the monkeys. Don't do it. Not when you're in the zoo. It's a bad idea. Don't do it in Age of Empires either. They will absolutely murder you or throw some less than palatable substances at you. the meantime, oh, teal though, trying to go for a lure here, managed to just survive the eagle attack here for red. So red trying to snipe that villager just doesn't get it. So wow, that is lucky for teal. Gloom coming in a clutch. Now of course this does delay his second javelina here, which is basically just a boar. Don't worry about it. So yeah, the uptime for teal will be a lot later now as a result, but he will get that boar eventually, and it doesn't follow him. Oh, man. Alright. Yeah, green is also here with a scout now, just in case. Teal. Ooh, forgetting about the boar. Yeah, you want to pay attention to that, of course, as green could probably block the boar a little bit. There you go. And there you go. Teal can go back now. Oh, he thought that the boar stopped, so he stopped for a second, so the block for green didn't do much. Yeah, a bit of communication error between the two. But here you go. The javelina is in. And... oh, yeah, but if you garrison your villager, of course, then the boar doesn't follow. So, yeah, I guess it will be taken out here. It's fine, it's fine. At least you didn't lose a vill while luring. That's the most important thing. Alright, now. Stock strategy, shall we? This is an open map, so you're probably going to have to protect your wood line at some point. It's far away from your TC as it usually is on these types of map. This is why I like to call this inverted Atacama, because the wood lines are in the corner, not in the middle. As you can see, no one has docked. They may still do that at some point, but I guess for now we're going to stick to land economy and aggression. Alright. So, of course, Aztecs and Koreans are probably just going to stick with archers for the time being. Especially Koreans will not switch into anything else. That would be my guess, at least. But, so we have a bit of a lame attempt here for purple, but blue will probably find that. Although, ooh, 2 jaguars in the wood line, and that loomed villager will die to that, because 2 jaguars will be able to kill a loomed villager. So blue, unfortunately, is going to lose his lumberjack, as purple is going to hide the llama in the wood line. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, blue might not find those for a while. Alright, well, blue is down a villager. Anyone else down a villager? No, it's just blue. Just blue. Did I say there were jaguars in the wood line? There's jaguars in the wood line. At least there may be. So that's just a bit of bad luck for blue then. Alright, now what the Turkish player and the Hun player are going to do is the question. I kind of want to see. I'm not seeing teal on gold, which makes me think that he wants to do something. His uptime has been really late because that boar was delayed. So again, yeah, he's not on gold. So then I'm wondering, is he going to try to go scouts with that uptime? Not sure if that's a good idea. Blue though is up in the castle, in the feudal age. I mean, he's gonna get an archer range up. Alrighty then, and we'll go for archers then. Now Turks do not get arbalest, so you can't go for that in the late game. But they do get awesome cavalry archers. Sapai cavalry archers with 100 HP in total. It's crazy. It's really strong. So is it 100 or is it 90? Either way, lots of HP. They're very tanky. They don't just die from one little hit, do they? As the spearmen are duking it out over here, although spearmen are not going to be useful for a whole lot here, as archers will be on the field soon. What's the Hunt player doing? Yeah, there you go. That's what I thought. It's stable, but oh man, I'm not sure how effective that's going to be, as red, of course, has 2 archer rangers up already. We'll be able to make some spearmen as well. Although red, did he scout what teal is doing? Well, the thing is, I bet he didn't. Now, of course not, because he lost his scout trying to snipe that villager. So now he doesn't know what teal's doing. This may mean that he gets surprised by the scout rush. That's kind of, you need to have the element of surprise with scouts, because as soon as spearmen come out, that's kind of it, right? And as soon as your opponent has like 7 archers, 8 archers, scouts die too fast as well. They won't be able to kill that anymore without upgrades. And red has some exposed resources for the time being, but not a whole lot. It's the jaguar. Ooh, the jaguar that got the last kill as well. Blue's like, no, I'll make a hat out of you. There you go. The jaguar is dead. Spearman will stick around over here. And now the question is, what's yellow doing? Yellow is making scouts. Okay, so no greedy boom into, well, fast castle or anything like that. No conquistadors for the time being. As blue is keeping his army alive right now by virtue of that spearman. Purple, of course, is going to try to snipe that. Now the skirmisher will go down first, and blue's army is going to get overwhelmed. Nice teamwork there from purple and yellow, overwhelming blue's defensive force. And blue now is going to have to abandon its gold, probably. because archers will be there. I think at this point you kind of need a tower. That might still go up because these archers, there's only 3 of them, and despite them having fletching, may not be able to kill this entire economy just yet. But blue, of course, decided not to drop a tower. He's going to have to hope that his teammate can get the scouts in position fast enough. Now, of course, Magyars do have extra attack, so they have the better scouts at the moment because of that extra attack. They're also cheaper, so you can make more. All right, let's see. As purple focusing down the archers. Let's see if he can get them. 1 archer down as he now takes an engagement against yellow. But yeah, yellow and purple completely overwhelming blue and green's defense at the moment. The scouts were not here in time, and blue's army died before something could happen there. And Turks are kind of slow to get going anyways because, well, they don't get an eco bonus beyond chopping gold faster. Which they're not going to be able to do now because blue's going to have to abandon that gold as he loses 1 villager to the archers. Good stuff. On the other side, archers for red walking into the TC, even though they didn't know where it was, as the scouts for teal has not been sent forward. The element of surprise is now lost, as red now knows exactly what he's up against. And yeah, as you can see, 5 archers with some good micro can kill these scouts. It's, yeah, Team Secretito are completely overwhelming Mancos Walleros at the moment. There's way more military for them. They have much stronger positions as blue is still pushed off of gold. The scouts are raiding the woodlines and green is just trying to get the scouts out to both sides to save both flanks as teal's gonna struggle to get to kill this army, honestly. You need a lot more scouts with upgrades. Now, they have double stable. Wow, okay, so we're going to really ramp up the production now. I'm not actually sure if teal's going to be able to afford production from 2 stables still, since most of his economy is kind of potatoed right now by 5 archers. As more reinforcements are streaming in, teal, who probably wanted to go offensive with these scouts, is now going to have to fight this army and try to get a good engagement. Let's see what red's micro is like, as red can deny the stable, and he's probably going to try. Stable does not. It doesn't go up. Ah, teal. He also wanted to go to stone, it seems. Yeah, I wanted to go to stone to get some towers up, I bet. He already dropped the tower on his wood line, which means that the rest of his economy is unfortunately not that safe, which is why you want to drop a tower where you are actually being threatened, not where you think the threat is going to come, right? Teal dropped that tower before red ever showed up to his wood line, right? So that tower isn't actually doing anything, and now you can't drop a tower in your farmland or in your gold to protect yourself. Green and blue still trying to fight over here, but purple and yellow occupy a very nasty hill. It's a choke point as well, you know, because blue didn't fully wall that. As a result, purple can sit there and have a nice defensive position. Yeah, as teal is kind of potato right now. He's struggling to deal with this. And yeah, this is the thing. Even in 1v1s, when you go scouts, you know at some point you're going to have to drop an archer range to make skirmishes to defend yourself. Now, luckily for teal, red standing inside the range of the TC there did take a lot of damage there. At the same time, we have a fight on the left-hand side as green and blue manage to clean up the archers for yellow, as yellow and purple have reneged on more production as they are both on the way to Castle Age. Let's see if blue and green can do some damage in the meantime, because otherwise they will be hopelessly delayed clicking up. Or maybe not green, but definitely blue. Yeah, this is an important fight here as purple is trying to micro back with his archer army while fighting a rearguard action to keep his mass alive. Blue sees that number of archers. He's going to pull back now. So purple, despite, you know, there being a lull in the production for a second, he's going to be up in the castle age all safe without taking any damage. On the other side, teal still completely denying, red still denying teal's economy completely here, as he's now going to go and look for the woodline for teal. And like I said, remember, that tower hasn't done anything so far. Now it's going to do something. But imagine if teal had just dropped the tower on his own economy, right? Because then that tower would actually help him, and he wouldn't fall so far behind. Now this teal tower is going to save this woodline, sure, but red's just going to go right back to teal's main base, which is unprotected. Or better still, find a way into the woodline. He could actually walk all the way around and sit behind that woodline. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, you can put 1 archer there and be very annoying. The tower doesn't actually range that, so that's kind of annoying. Alright, purple makes it to the castle age, yellow makes it to the castle age. Yellow is going to stick with knights for the time being. I am not seeing him on stone at the moment, so not thinking about conquistadors for the time being. Not sure if that would be the best idea to go for in this matchup, since there will not be a replacing cavalry player. Koreans can't do it, and Aztecs really can't do it, unless they convert one of these teal stables, that is. Teal, though, recognizing he's behind as Red's on the way to Castle Age, needs to get a decisive engagement against these archers before they are upgraded. That is why he's getting upgrades at the moment. He's getting bloodlines, he's still lacking armor and attack. Upgrades that he desperately needs in order to take a fight there. Now, Red has split up his forces, so Teal could maybe take them on one by one. Drops a tower on this wood line now, so at the very least, one wood line here is safe, as Teal is still taking losses on the farms. The raids just never end, do they? Crossbows walking into Blue's base as Blue dropped the tower on the hill, which is nice, but that tower does not protect your gold. It does not protect any of these other golds as well, and Purple has free reign to walk all the way through. Alright, Teal now finding one of these isolated armies here with the bloodlines on the scouts, may be able to clear this up. Should be able to if the scouts actually engage. What? Oh, they didn't engage. Oh, come on, DE, freaking cavalry pathing, I swear to God, they were on defensive stance, and they decided, oh yeah, we're not gonna attack. Yeah, Teal taking some more losses there unnecessarily, you know, because the scout cavalry didn't engage properly. Red, in the meantime, hiding his archers so he can get an upgrade done. There you go. Knights now hitting Blue on the archers. Archers that he will never be able to upgrade. And wow, Team Secretito are dominating. Dominating Mancos Walleros on their home map at the moment. I'm not so sure how long Mancos Walleros are going to continue to play here, as two players are forever feudal at the moment. Blue's never going to click up, not with that economy. And Teal is still investing in upgrades or in scouts. He's probably going to try to get up to the next stage. But, yeah, the Aztec player is already there. And the Aztec player could totally make monks, could totally make pikemen, and be fine with that. Alright, Blue has to decisively, well, has to really, what's the word here? Evacuate the hill, the tower will go down, the army will go down as well, as Green is trying to get enough knights out to defend his embattled flank. Unfortunately, it's not gonna work. Blue wanting to get a castle up. I guess that was the plan after all, to go for Janissaries, right? Get a castle up, go for Janissaries. The problem is that he took too much damage early on, was too far behind. And of course, going for a castle also slows down your economy because you have to put villagers on stone. So yeah, Blue, it's never going to get up the castle age, is he? I don't think so. I think they also realize how weak Blue is at the moment. Blue does not have an army of any significance at the moment. And Green is just going to have to battle his way back to his own base. There's 17 knights on the field right now for the Spanish player. Only 8, I mean, for Green. Yeah, Green, unfortunately, is not Berbers this game, so he doesn't have the cheaper knights at the moment. So he is going to get overwhelmed by Yellow, who is spending a lot more. Alright, right. That is a game-ending castle for Teal at the very least. I mean, you could even drop that castle right there, deny his entire economy. It's not like Teal can really take a fight there. He still doesn't have his upgrades. So, yep. Teal now realizes that he's going to send in his scouts in a last final desperate sortie against the castle that's going to go up. Unfortunately, those villagers are so, you know, there's such a choke point over here. That castle will go up. It will destroy the town center as well. And Teal will have to abandon the right side of his base. All the while, Green taking a desperate engagement against the smallest army of Yellow's knights that he could fight. A mangonel coming in from behind, kind of sneakily through the houses. If it can get a good shot up on these crossbows, it might be worth it. But the houses are blocking the mangonel. It cannot get close to the engagement. Purple can, so Green is still going to have to back up. The gold for Green is right there. He's going to have to abandon. And oh, the mangonel! There's a one-tile hole and it got stuck. And now Yellow finds the mangonel, snipes the mangonel. Oh yeah, okay, Green now taking out the crossbows as much as he can, but the micro is good. Green still lacking the second armor upgrade. The crossbows are completely destroying the knights right now, which means there's nothing to fight Yellow's knights at the moment. It's 17 knights versus just 7. Wow. Wow. I mean, after all that, I mean, one thing that has to be said for Mancos Walleros, they are insane boomers. Because after all of this, right? After all of this, they still have a Vil lead. Still. Maybe not after Yellow hits the gold, though. There's a lot of gold villagers that could die here. As Yellow runs over here, but... oh, there's a hole! Wow. Okay, gotta trust the pathing in that regard then, as, wow, oh boy, Teal going for a lot of fishing ships. We didn't really talk about that, but my god. He kind of needs to, because all his farms are denied at the moment. His town center is down. Teal had to rebuild his town center in the north, build a tower as well. Green is there as well with a TC, so I guess they're going to hold on in the north then against the aggression from the Aztec player, who is just going to boom on multiple TCs, or just go fast them, get traps out, and kill it that way. Blue sending in some sneaky archers to the south, but I don't think they're going to be able to do that much damage. There's a TC here after all. Yellow signaling now to purple where to gather the armies to put an end to green's miserable existence. Alrighty. Right. Oh, the scouts though. The scouts with upgrades, by the way. Not all of them, but most of them fighting their way to purple's base. And there you go. A nice raid. Purple losing 8 villagers, taking some damage there. But is it going to be enough for Mancos Walleros to stay in this game? Now, the intended effect here was that purple brings back his crossbows to deal with this raid, as Teal loses all of his scouts. You know, in return for 13 vills, that's, you could say that's worth it, right? I think so. Purple's army is not attacking blue or green right now. As a result, green is... I mean, yellow is now on his own, I'd say that. But of course, red now picking up the slack, reinforcing his flank. Yeah, green is never going to be able to fight this. Never. Like, what he needs now is a lucky shot on red. That's kind of what he needs now. Now, does blue have to stone for a castle? No, he doesn't. He does not. Instead, opting to drop a TC on the wood line to keep some of his economy safe. Yeah. Oh boy, oh boy. Now, yellow simply has enough knights to take fights against green, as green is just simply outnumbered here. Not all of the knights for yellow are engaging there, though. He's got 21 knights versus just 10 for the Magyar player. And yeah, green, again, losing his entire mass. He's running out of gold here as well. The crossbows are, well, getting wrecked by a mangonel, but still killing all the villagers on stone. Ay. And if those knights fight this many villagers, that's gotta be the GG moment, right? That knight's gonna see it now. Yellow's gonna find those vills. The knights engage. The crossbows are here as well. It is massacre. It's pandemonium. Oh, I can't watch. I can't watch. Oh, green now realizing it as well in what harm, that his villagers were in harm's way, but he's not going to be able to save them. And yellow and red are happily pursuing this force, killing everything. The same time, that Vill lead that Mancos Walleros had is now definitively over. The military count for Team Secretito is 116. The GG is called, as Team Secretito have just completely blown Mancos Walleros out of the water. See what I meant? Team Secretito and Wakachina, they're forced to be reckoned with. It is 1-1. Alright. Well, we got ourselves a series. I like that. It's not going to be a brutal domination, a total stomp for either team, as both teams have now tasted defeat, you know, which is good. Well, for us, well, not for them. For us, it's good. For the winning team, it's good as well. For the losing team, not so much. But yeah, what can I say? I don't think the initial approach here for Mancos Walleros was up to snuff. The uptime for Teal was really late, which means that if you go for a flank scout opening, it's all about speed. You need to have that 9-minute uptime to get your scouts out before your opponent gets archers out, right? And hit them with those scouts. You know, distract their economy. But even then, even if you get all that done, you're still going to have to defend yourself with skirmishers to get through feudal age. Because at some point, archers will still get to a point where they can snipe your scouts easily. And scouts are not going to be able to take engagement. So you need skirmishers to defend yourself. And Teal, instead of building that, he built a second stable, which he was not going to be able to produce from anyways. So I think that was a mistake on Teal's part. So yeah, as a result, he got overwhelmed on his side. Yeah. On the left-hand side, again, blue, because he's Turks, didn't have the fastest uptime. I mean, it's still against Koreans, who also don't get an early eco bonus like that either. So, I mean, it doesn't matter. I guess purple simply had the better macro there. As a result, purple got his army out faster and occupied this hill, pushing blue off of gold, delaying blue massively. And yellow and purple were working together excellently. It took a while for green to send in reinforcements, by which time blue's army was already dead. And blue couldn't help anymore sniping these archers, which is what he wanted to do, I'm sure. Yeah, blue tried to go into cavalry archers, it seems. That would have been a good unit with Turks, that's true, but you need to make it to castle age, which took a while for blue to do. That left green, who has a great civilization. Green tried to, you know, boom back into the game, and of course, because he had to spam for multiple stables, didn't have the economy to get a lot of villagers out, you know, and he was still behind in numbers. And of course, in the meantime, yellow was on 3 TCs, booming, making a lot of Spanish knights. Very good. Now, of course, the nice thing is that Team Secretito now winning with Spanish, which is not the best pocket civ, against Magyars. So now Team Secretito took out the most dangerous open map pocket civ that Mancos Walleros had. It's kind of a shame that they lost this game then, because now they won't be able to use this civilization on their own home map, which is Atacama or Kawasan, especially on Atacama. Magyars would have been really good. So this was an important victory for Team Secretito as they stay in the series. Let's have a look at the KD. Yeah, I mean, it's clear, right? It's clear who was dominating here, especially Yellow with 75 kills. 59 kills for Red here and 60 kills for Purple. It was not even close. Not even close. Look at the military count. It never, Mancos Walleros never equaled what Team Secretito put in the field there. So, and military is what wins games on open maps like Huacachina or Atacama. So yeah, there you go. And of course, even after that, the economies are not that different, considering how far behind Mancos Walleros were in terms of military, but still. And the fastest player today was Yellow, deservedly so, man, deservedly so, because that makes a lot of sense to me. He definitely played like a beast there. Yellow instrumental in getting the victory here. All right, we have ourselves a tie. Cool. Now, let's have a look at the home maps for Mancos Walleros as I update the scoreboard. Good stuff. Yes. Alright, here you go. It's a victory for Team Secretito on their home map, an important one as well. Now, let's have a look. So, we have Kawasan or Atacama, right? Now, Mancos Walleros just lost an open map, right? Like Huacachina. It may not have been the map that they're most comfortable with. Clearly they prefer Atacama, right? But maybe psychologically you don't want to go into another open map first go for maybe Kawasan, a more closed off map to get your groove back, right? Or if they really think they can do it on Atacama, they can pick that. Depending on that, we will see what civilizations they will go for. Let's have a look at those civilizations. First, we need to say, let's see, lost with Magyars, lost with Huns, who strong cavalry civs out of the game now. Turks, that's alright, I guess. A win with Koreans, with Aztecs, and Spanish. Alright. Now, if it is Kawasan, right, I'm expecting Italians. Byzantines are good there as well. Portuguese would be fine. Malians as a hybrid civ. Malians, if it's Kawasan, it should be Malians. It should be Malians as your civ because you can actually go for the dock, afford all of that. You get a lot more bonuses than Khmer. Khmer are fine, but I think I would keep Khmer for Atacama, which is the better spam civ, the better aggressive civ at that. So if it's Atacama, it's Khmer. If it's Kawasan, my guess is Malians. On the other side for Secretito, yeah. If it is Atacama, I'm expecting Incas. Incas, maybe Tatars, something like that. Because I think I would save Japanese and Malay for Kawasan. If it is Atacama, I would also reserve Slavs here. As a good spam civ. I would reserve Teutons for not Socotra because it's more cramped, so you can actually maneuver. There's less maneuverability for both teams, which favors Teutons, which get melee armor on their knights, which is very strong. Another good spam civ is actually Poles, but the problem is if you pick Poles as a cavalry civ, you're actually running out of flank civs. So I don't think Poles is going to be a cavalry civ. It'll have to work as a flank civ. Now you can still go for cavalry, but that is risky, as you just saw, right? Alright, so those are the predictions. My guess is Kawasan, but we'll see. We'll see. Let's have a look. Let me load up the game, the third game, which is normally the final game, but not today. It's best of 5. That's right. So, we're not done just yet. And there you go. It is Kawasan. There you go. That's what I thought. I thought, how strong Team Secretito looked on Huacachina was going to discourage Mancos Walleros from picking Atacama. That was my guess, right? And, yay, we got that correctly. So, you guys ready for the third game? It is Kawasan time. Alrighty. Good stuff. Let me change some colors. There you go. To keep it consistent. Good stuff. Right. Let's introduce our players. We'll start with the home map team because this is Kawasan and their home map. In the blue, we've got Juan Caimon playing as the Malians. Alright. In the Malian flank? Why? What? Okay. Well. Alright, Malian flank. That's kind of weird to me. I don't like that, actually. Especially when you have Sicilians, which is a better flank civ than Malians, for sure. Alright, well, Davide Spin playing as the Sicilians in the green, but alright then. That's interesting to me. Let's see what they prepared then. In the teal, we've got Cowboy playing as the Italians. Now, that I do like a lot. I would have preferred Byzantines here. They are the better Kawasan civ. You know, Italians can get better uptimes, but Byzantines are better on water, you know, because it's only going to be fire galleys for the time being. You know, I don't think anyone is silly enough to start with a galley opening. And of course, if it's fire galleys, Byzantines with the faster attacking fire galleys rule supreme. Alright, red here, it's the Zeus playing as the Japanese, no surprises there. Alright, in the yellow we've got, Poles for yellow. For Negan, I mean. So they are going to use Poles as a pocket civ then. That does mean they are going to run out of clear flank civs for the next game. The next 2 games, I mean. So I guess we'll see how that's going to go. In the purple, we got Tomichiwara playing as the Malay. No surprises there. Again, Malay and Japanese were the obvious picks for Kawasan. So, let's talk, shall we? I want to talk about Malians first. So, is Malians bad as a flank civ? No. They're fine. But not in a late game. You like Bracer, after all. You get Arbalest, but no Bracer, so that definitely hurts your late game. So they're not as good as, say, Malay, who get fully upgraded Arbalest. So in late game, Malians are going to struggle. They may want to switch into Cavalry, for which you need a good economy, which is always the question whether you're going to have a good economy as the flank civ, because you're more likely to get hurt. Malian players also not going to fight over water. That was to be expected, actually. So that is actually not a surprise to me. Now, the reason why I don't like this choice is because I think Malians would be better as the pocket civ here. You can afford all those, you can afford a lot of fishing ships because of all the savings, the wood savings on your buildings. You can dock both pawns. Instead, put the Sicilian player as the flank. The Sicilian player does get Bracer, right? They get Bracer. Therefore, their Arbalists are slightly better. But then they like Thumb Ring, so I guess it evens out a little bit. But yeah, Sicilians also have a host of other options which are good, so there you go. Now, are Sicilians a bad pocket civ? By no means, by no means. Especially when you're up against Poles, because what is the biggest weakness of Sicilians? It's actually heavy cavalry. Heavy cavalry kills Sicilians, right? So Paladin, right? Because Sicilians got nothing to match that except their own halberdiers, which won't do so well in a team game. So if it's, Sicilian Halberd Cavalier versus Paladin, the Paladins win. Now, Poles don't get Paladin. They don't even get the final armor upgrade on their cavalry. So they actually don't have heavily armored cavalry, which means that the Sicilian player has the best cavalry on the field right now. Now, the Poles player can outspam the Sicilian player, but I think with Halberd, the Sicilian Cavalier will be so durable, I don't think that the Poles player is going to be able to withstand that. And of course, the downside of not having that final armor upgrade is kind of the same as making camels. You can't really fight around the flanks, because their Arbalest will absolutely destroy you. Now, in Castle Age, that doesn't apply, right? So in Castle Age, you can definitely outspam your opponents and flood them with some Polish Knights. So my guess is that Yellow's going to try to play full Castle Age here, and not try to go up the Imp. Instead, you're just going to try to swarm your opponent, get good or get flood, to destroy their defenses. Alright, well, Teal is posted outside of Red's base, guarding this wild boar. Just waiting for Red to send a villager. But Red could actually see that, and now he definitely knows about it, so he's not going to let that happen, I'm sure. Same time, Blue took some hits from the town center, got hit by the villagers as well, so Blue's just going to have to run away now. Did he scout the dock? That's important. Oh, he did not. He did not. And now Blue, who was earlier dropping a dock in the middle pond, actually decided to go for the side pond now. So I guess we are going to have a fight now between the two players. As you can see, Purple was trying to snipe one of those villagers there, but Blue actually smart enough to get Loom, otherwise he would have lost that villager. And otherwise, just wall it in, because your opponent should be checking. This is what you should be doing on Kawasan as the flank. You need to scout whether your opponent is on water. You need to know that. Because now Blue knows, okay, if I want to go for water, I need another dock, start really producing. I guess we'll see. Now, of course, on Kawasan, as we all know this map. I don't think I have to really explain what this map is about. But of course, the earlier fighting will happen over these two pawns between the two flank civs, as they both want to control the, decent amount of food and fish that you can find in these pawns. There's still, let's see, how much food is left? some 2,000. That's food that gets you to imp faster. So, it's important. Alright, purple walled off the side. I like this wall. That's a nice wall off. Of course, this would have been the easier wall off, but that is more something that blue can do. Although that's an awkward wall off, actually, for blue. I think he's going to wall over here instead. Yeah, the Kawasan generation for blue wasn't very good. As purple was looking for that villager, but that villager has disappeared. Red, in the meantime, going for a second dock now. Teal's uptime is later than Red's. Oh, actually, no. Teal will be up faster, but is Teal going to drop another dock to really contest water? He is going to wall forward. I don't like that wall, because you can just walk around it. So I don't know why we're walling that. It's kind of weird. As Red now attacks the villager, but the villager still has loom, and Red is not in the feudal age, but still 20 seconds away. Teal, though, is bringing his scout over as Teal walls in the Ville. But Teal, you can actually fight the scout. Fight the scout. Alright, well, Teal walling on his villager is trying to be fine, but still, no second dock. He is making fire galleys now, but he's going to be up against double production from the Japanese player here, and Japanese fishing ship working faster and being more durable. Alright, on the other side, we have purple versus blue. Purple has his first fire galley out already, and blue, yeah, blue is behind. He's trying to make some fire galleys, but right now, Team Secretito are ahead on water. They actually have their military out already. Although Teal actually got his fire galley out first. But of course, Red, he luckily can survive this a little bit, because look how little damage these fishing ships take. Look how slow that goes. Ah, it's like, it's unfair, man. It's so unfair. Alright, well, Red now bringing out 2 fire galleys. Will be 2v1ing Teal, and Teal's going to have to back up here if he wants to keep this fire galley alive. Teal, yeah, you're gonna lose that ship. You're probably gonna lose that ship. Yeah, it gets blocked by the fishing ships. 1 ship down, and now you're behind by 2 ships. And these fire galleys can definitely kill these fishing ships, so you don't want to be trickling into fire galleys now. On the other side, blue got 2 fire galleys out. Gets a nice 2v1 on one of the fire galleys for purple. Good stuff. And also 2v1ing this now. Of course, because there's no villager here, he can't repair this weak ship. So there's that. Purple, of course, has not gone for a second dock. That's what he's doing right now. As a result, he's behind in numbers for the time being. He's making a demo ship at the moment. What are we going to do? Demo the ship? The fishing ships? As Teal is going to lose his fish. Clear lead now for Red, as he will have fishing ships, and Teal will not. Alright. Now, Teal can dock the other pond, you know, with safe fish. But Teal is definitely still going to fight for water. So he's not done yet. Has walled the edge of the map, that's nice, but the front of his base is still completely open, allowing the Pulse player to maybe go in. But the Pulse player is going fast castle. Alright then. What's Green doing? Green's making scouts. Well, send them over to Yellow. Let's punish Yellow. Yellow wanted to go for a greedy fast castle without walling. You know what he wants to do, right? You know what he wants to do. This is the plan. He's banking up stone right now. He wants to get a castle up, research Schlachter privileges, and get knights that only cost 30 gold. Which is great. But that means he will not have knights out for at least 5 minutes. Yeah, going up, getting the resources for Schlachter privileges, and then getting your knights out, that means you're going to be far behind the military count. And guess what? If you're not walled, Green can just waltz right in with his scouts, and you're not going to be able to afford Schlachter privileges if you don't watch out. He's off a gold already, so, you know, the knights might be cheap, but they're not for free, after all. So we'll see how that's going to work out for Yellow. Let's see if the greed's not going to cost him. Purple, in the meantime, getting overwhelmed on water, lost all his fishing ships. So the reverse the reverse scenario is the case here. Although Purple's still fighting for water, he's banking up his military. Blue is trying to make galleys. Oh, Blue, mistake. Don't make galleys. Don't do it. There's not enough maneuver space here. I'm not sure if he loses this army, then galleys are gonna die, and here come the demo ships. And nice demo. Another demo ship. There you go. You still sure you want to go for galleys here? Because you're just going to get overwhelmed there, man. Alright, Teal took a fight against Red, but lost it now. Yeah, I guess the best thing you can do now is try to demo the fishing ships. Because you're not going to be able to snipe him with galleys, I can tell you that much. Now, 1 Malian galley out, but look at that. Now it's a galley versus fire galleys, and what do you think is going to happen? Where do you run on this pond? Going for galleys was such a mistake for Blue. He was fine. He had the military lead. He was winning on water, but not anymore. Alright, but purple wasn't walled, and that's also a mistake. If you are going to fight for water, right? If you're going to fight for water, you're going to have to wall yourself. As blue is docking the middle pond here, has a galley out, but no one's docked here, so I guess you can just go and fish over on this side now. Oh, that's fine. That's totally fine then, huh? Yeah, so what I'm saying is if you're going to dock and you're going to fight for water, you're probably not going to be able to afford a lot of land military. So the best thing to do is to wall yourself, and not like this. This is not a good wall. This is a very, very, very bad wall because it doesn't actually wall your base. It's still open. Ah. I mean, it forces red to go this way, but I think the red's not going to mind. Especially since he won water, which is good. Alright. Yellow made it to castle age in good fashion. He also got his castle up in front of his gold, so that will protect his gold for the rest of this game, at least until someone takes it down. And let's see if he can afford Schlachta privileges. The answer to that is no. It's 500 food, 300 gold. That's very expensive, very difficult to afford, which is why going straight into Schlachta privileges knights is so difficult to do. It's unlikely you can afford all of that. And indeed, Yellow is making some knights first, so he can protect his base. As blue is, happily fishing. Purple was walling that, but purple didn't know there was a dock there. Purple did win on water now, as blue kinda, Is it a throw? It kind of feels like a throw, honestly. If he had just made fire galleys instead of those galleys, he would just have been fine. He would have had 3 new fire galleys against the 2 from purple. He would have been okay, but, yeah. As red finds a hole in his wood line, fixes that, and there you go. At the same time, yes, this is why walling to the water is a risk, because if you do that and you lose water, your opponent can easily wall behind, and there you go, the archers are in. Blue Teal did drop a tower on his gold, that's good. Had to re-wall behind for his berries as some demo ships take out 2 fire galleys as red drew most of his away. Teal's still making fire galleys from this dock. I guess he's still going to try them, but I don't think he's going to be able to stop this fish boom. As, he's also not walled on this side, so the archers can still just waltz right in. So, I hope Teal has a contingency plan here to adapt to a land strategy. Alright, the Pulse player's still not with Schlachta privileges. He's still making very expensive knights. Oh. Alright, green has made it to castle age in the meantime. Green is also has 40, economy at the moment, 35 vills, 5 fishing ships, which is kind of decent. But yellow's got 38 vills and 10 fishing ships, because he is fishing a lot in this pond. Now, you should not make more than 10 fishing ships for this pond. That may even already be too much, because there's not that much fish here. Also, because the fish is now on the other side, it's going to get a lot more inefficient. So you kind of want to dock on the other side as well, because that food will trickle in slowly, which actually doesn't help you as much as you'd think. That's why you need some farms as well. What's blue doing? Blue! Klonkaimon loves his sneaky stables, man. This is what he did in the Arabia game. It didn't work out at all. But this time his opponents may not know about it. Let's see. No! Alright, so blue, who has one... Wow, it's actually come back on water. Wow! So blue manages to hold on to water, and purple clearly doesn't want to fight anymore, so there you go. So blue should just take out the dogs. Blue now has fish, has food for cavalry to run in the back of yellow's base or purple's base. Knights for green running into purple's base as well, who's now far behind everyone else. It's 34 villagers for him, no fishing ships working. He's got only 2 archers in the field right now and a few spearmen, but the knights are here. Alright, yellow is sending his knights forward right now. He's trying to support red's, attack here as red finds a villager that is making an outpost. A very weak vill that is getting sniped right now. Nice stuff. Teal is on the way to castle age. He's docking the other side for fish. That's good. Still not walled though, so we'll see how that's going to go. Oh, but this is good. I was going to say, because if Teal has to fight knights, he's going to have a problem, right? He's going to have a big problem. Unfortunately for purple, because he can't defend himself against the knights from green, yellow is forced to send his knights to the north now to support his teammates there. As a result, red now has some crossbows, but can't walk into Teal's town. And these few knights from the Sicilian player could, if he gets a second armor upgrade, could totally kill this. Alright, see, this is why these walls don't work, right? These walls were kind of bad. I think just wall this would have been a lot better. Teal also unlucky with the wood lines. All those wood lines are forward and not very safe. He re-walled this, but again, how long is that going to stay up? Because red can easily deny that. As we have yellow now come to chase out the green. As I'm still not sure if yellow got Schlachta privileges or not. There's no way for me to really tell, fortunately. Can't imagine that he does, though, because look at those stables. He's got 4 stables. So that's gotta be... In order to produce from that with 49 villages and 10 fishing ships, you need to have Schlachta privileges for sure. Because that's heavy, very food intensive, so you can't have that many villages on gold. And as you can see, it's not a whole lot, it's just 8. 8 villagers for stable production. He's only producing from 2 at the moment, though, so... It's not like he can produce from all those stables. And at the same time, the critical food economy is getting hit as well. Of course, yeah, Poles want to farm around their folwark, which also means you're likely to have farms far away from your base. And look at that, Blue finds these farms. Blue, please tell me that you noticed that. Blue didn't notice that. Blue. Okay, he must have clicked that, but he's not sending those knights back over here. Instead, he's going to go for the wood line as green is raiding the farm and forcing yellow to come back home. Blue at the same time with knights also raiding the farms, and green is suffering a lot of losses here. Already down 14 villagers, 16 villagers, now more than purple, who lost 15 villagers himself to the raid from green earlier. At the same time, crossbows now moving forward as red's army has been annihilated in teal's base. Clearly, I think the knights from green probably cleared those up. Yep, that's what I think. And red has only 9 crossbows as he's up against 18. And this is the downside. When someone gives up on water, they have a lot more resources for a land military, don't they? You know what's another problem for the Polish player? Camels. Ooh. Imagine if Blue sends in some camels as well, because Polish, they may be numerous, but they still can't deal with camels, you know, which still have a lot of bonus damage. And red and purple aren't here with crossbow armies now, so making some camels here as Blue is actually a really grand idea. Alright, we have castle now going up for the Sicilian player, going up fast, because it is Sicilians. They built their castles faster, did you know that? Yeah. It's very, very sweet if you want to castle drop your opponent, after all. Alright, Teal, well, pushing red off of his gold, and off of both his golds. Ooh, red's way of walling did not secure any of these golds. As a result, he's going to get pushed off of both of them, which is going to hurt his archer production. Look at the gold for red, only 182. That's 3 archers, and that's it. 3 archers? Yeah. No, 4. 4 exactly, actually. Alright, well, yellow now is wise to the fact that there's some shenanigans going on in the back of his base. Those blue knights conspicuously came from the north, so there must be something there. Yellow now finally finds those sneaky stables, which this time actually did some damage, as blue is sending his army down south to once again raid the Polish player. And yellow, of course, you know, he's Xing the buildings to let his team know that they're there, but he's going to chase this army now, which is the greater threat, wherever that army is going to go. Looks like it's bound for purple somehow. He's actually going around now. Ooh, he might send his army to red then. Where's green's army right now? Green's army is spread out at the moment. Let's see, there's an army over here. Ah, a raiding army finds its way to yellow's knights. The knights, of course, are out away. Yeah, yellow never able to secure his base, and now he's going to have to split up his army to deal with both those threats simultaneously. He also can't find blue's army, which has gone south, which is actually the logical path to take for him. Teal's forces are down here trying to break through the walls over here. Will break through the walls as red is trying to drop a panic castle to defend himself. But if Teal is fast enough, he can deny that. At the same time, blue hitting from the north. There's a hole between those houses there, so he will be able to break through. Oh, break through? Just run in. Alright, well, yellow now dealing with these pesky raiding knights on his farmland, but yellow still losing villagers as he goes. 33 losses so far. He's down to 27 villagers. Even with Schlachta privileges, you're not going to be able to afford that many knights with this. This is looking really good for Mancos Walleros. They are again out-booming Team Secretito hard. It's 220 vills versus 137, but they have an equal amount of military as well, which does not bode well for Team Secretito, because if their approach was a lot of military, a lot of aggression, the longer that this game goes, the worse it will get for Team Secretito, as once again, they will get out-popped. Yellow's massive Polish army, like I said, he's probably going to go full Castellate now. He has to. He can't afford to go to Imp at any point now. It doesn't really benefit him either. That army is now busy taking out stables. It's not trying to kill, say, teal or blue or green. So this is all fine for them. Teal also on the way to Imperial Age. His army had to back up. It's gone back to the docks here as Blue actually denies this castle for the time being. But without Teal, he can't deny it forever as Red will get that up. But Red is down to 50 villagers. A lot of whom are over here actually. Ooh, 1/5 of your economy is right there. Did Red Blue know about that? He does know the gold is there. He's going to check it. Now he sees it. If Blue is paying attention to his army, he sees that gold. Oh, that is lucky for Red. Red is super lucky right now. Yeah, because Blue could have easily killed all of this. Now, Yellow is still busy chasing in the north. Actually, not chasing anything. Green's army is dead. Green has 20 knights, but they're posted out here. As Yellow is yet to respond to this. He's sending in a few, the Cavalier. I mean, a few Polish knights. Alright. Green is saying, yo, your docks might die, which indeed they may. As this castle is also denying one of the docks, so the fish can't bring in the fishing ships here. And ooh, to go for fish traps on this pond. Not sure if that's a good idea, because if your opponents see that, they can just snipe that, right? As Red is kind of trapped here between a castle and a wood line, as the Green couldn't fight it in the choke point, but he can certainly find it if it leaves that place. Yellow, though, finally, for the first time in 36 minutes, right, has had the ability to send his knights forward. Finally. Problem is, by this time, Green is at 95 villagers and up to Imp. Something that Yellow is never going to be able to do with 40 vills. Or 30 vills and 10 fishing ships. He's not even making villages right now. They know we're on a clock once again. Once again, we're on a clock. Arbalists are here. The bane of the Polish knights. The Polish player taking a fight now. The best fight he knows he can ever take. But I don't think, with Arbalists behind and knights, I think that Yellow's army, at least part of it, will get cleaned up on this side. At the same point, we have, well, relics now. The other army that should have been here to help Yellow. It's not there, and his vanguard gets completely annihilated. And I think this army will be strong enough to kill the Polish army. And with that, if Green makes it to Imp, is Yellow going to continue to fight here? Because Yellow's never going Imp. Never. Ever. The only thing you can do is outspam your opponent, right? Which is what he's trying to do right now. But there's 19 knights on the field. There's a bunch of knights for the Malian player as well, who is also up to Imp. Yep, there you have it. The GG is called because Team Secretito know they are simply too far behind in economy and now also in technology, as none of them were ready to click up to Imp. Yeah, Mancos Walleros with a very interesting strategy, I might add. You know, managing to win water at least on one side to even get another pond. Did lose water on this side, but again, at the end of the day, Teal managed to, to come back from that. It was more important, actually, for Blue to win water rather than Teal, because his units cost food, not wood, right? So it's more important than to have fish. Whereas Teal, he could manage with crossbows. Now, I must say the raids on Yellow were instrumental here, because Yellow had a giant army, which Slachta privileges. Your knights are cheaper, right? Giant army. He couldn't send it forward. This was literally the first time, right? The first time that Yellow actually made it to the other side of the map. The first time this entire game. It's because he was busy dealing with the raids. It started in Feudal Age, but especially in Castle Age, raiding all these Polish folwark farms were really good. Those sneaky stables from Blue in the back definitely helped as well. So yeah, that was well executed by Mancos Walleros, to keep Yellow on the back foot. And they knew if they could just kill his economy, right, then he couldn't spam, right, which was the real danger. Letting him boom and then also spam from multiple stables before your opponent can match that. Alright, let's have a look at the statistics, because I'd like to look at the army production. Yeah, there you go. 88 knights for Yellow. You can only do that with Poles, man, at this point in the game. It's just, only then, they get enough of a discount. Even Berbers are going to struggle to match that number, because it's still very gold intensive for them. Yeah, look at that. Yellow. So much military. And that military never moved forward to do damage to his opponents. And that's why, at the end of the day, Mancos Walleros, got the better KD, they had the better technology, Arbalest, so they could take a good fight, delaying their opponents long enough, killed a lot of villagers as well, and besides that, they had a fantastic economy. Compare Green versus Yellow. Green completely out-booming Yellow, obviously. Well, Green's base was unhurt, it was untouched, he could boom unopposed. As a result, the villager count, as again for Mancos Walleros, was significantly higher. This has been kind of the theme this series, you know. Team Secretito can make a lot of military. Their strategy is pretty good, but they get consistently outboomed by Mancos Walleros. Even when Mancos Walleros are under insane pressure, they still boom harder than Team Secretito. That is something that can be dangerous in longer games. The longer a game goes, the more it favors Mancos Walleros, because more economy, more military, more chances to win. A fast player here was Juan Caimon with all his raids, but actually mostly economy. Look at that. That's probably also micromanaging fishing ships. That's at least my bag. Alrighty. If you don't mind, I'm gonna lean back a little bit more comfortable for my back. There you go. Alright. We have ourselves a 2-1, a match point in favor for Mancos Walleros. Team Secretito will have to win the next game, otherwise it will be their final game, because then Mancos Walleros will move on to the finals. So can Team Secretito beat Mancos Walleros back yet another time on their final home map, which is, let me show you, it is this freaking map. There you go. Not Socotra. Oh boy. Alright, so it's a win for Kawasan here from Mancos Walleros. Not Socotra is the next home map. As you can see, that much is certain, right? It has to be Not Socotra. So what civilizations can we expect? Let's see. We got a win with Sicilians, with Italians, and with Malians. Alright. A loss with Japanese, a loss with Malay, and a loss with Poles. Alrighty, so Atacama, it's gonna be, not Socotra. It's going to be Teutons. Right, I'm thinking Teutons over Slavs, because in that cramped space of Not Socotra, Teutons are better than Slavs. Well, yeah, probably. You sure have the better, well, maybe not, right? I mean, you could make a case for either. Slavs have the better economy from in feudal age already, right? Because every farm you build, your farmers work 10% faster. Teutons, it takes a while before their wood savings on farms really starts to pay off, right? It requires other players to also invest in a lot of farms, and of course, the game to go on for a bit longer. But if it does, right, in Castle, Teutons have the better military. So if you want to prioritize economy, if this was Mancos Walleros, they'd probably favor Slavs, right? Alright, so we have Teutons. My guess is Tatars, and then either Incas or Celts. But I think Celts. Because I think Celts, even without stone, can still go for a siege push. So that's my guess. Tatars, because there's plenty of hills on Not Socotra. You can take important, small little fights where you have 50% extra bonus damage on top of the hill bonus, right? As Tatars. So, that is my guess. For Mancos Walleros, let's see. Not Khmer, that's for Atacama. They may decide to go for Khmer, actually. Because you also have Mongols, because you're kind of out of a pocket sieve now, because we used Huns and Magyars before. So, who's going to be the pocket sieve for Atacama then? If they're going to pick Khmer here. Well, I guess we'll have to figure that out. We'll see if we get to a 5th game, obviously. Probably Saracens, because they're more aggressive civilization, and I think Bohemians would be really good here as well, with chemistry crossbows, since it's likely to go to Castle Age, you know, not Socotra, or at least more likely than Imperial Age. Bohemians are pretty good. If you get those chemistry crossbows, more attack on your X-bows, that's very strong. So, those are my guesses, but we'll see. We'll see how accurate they are. Alright. Let's go. Match point for Mancos Walleros. If they win this game, then they will be on to the final, the finals, their final game in the tournament, obviously. For Team Secretito, they need to win this game to stay in the series. So can they do it? Remember, Team Secretito, the reigning champions from last Virgo Cup in Category C. So let's go. Alrighty. Let me change some colors. Or shall I let them play in their colors? You know what? For this one game, Team Secretito, I'm gonna let you play in orange and purple. There you go. You guys happy now? Darn it. Yeah, the reason why I normally don't use orange is because it's hard to distinguish red and orange. But I guess you're just gonna have to struggle then as the caster. All right, let's go. In the orange, we have Tomichi War playing as the Celts. There you go. This is what we expected. Celts indeed. In the purple, we have Negan playing as the Teutons. Yay, we're right there as well. In the red, we have Tatars for the Zeus. Yay, I was completely correct there. Yay. Alright, in the blue we have Portuguese for Juan Caimon. Okay, so that one I thought that would be safe for Atacama, but that's totally fine. This is still fine for Portuguese. In the green we have David Spin playing as the Mongols. Again, that's what we thought, because Khmer is a better civ for Atacama. And then in the teal, last but not least, as Orange almost runs into the TC, and TL may have wanted to garrison, he decided not to do that though. Playing as the Bohemians, there you go. So we did expect that one. So we were right about 5 civilizations out of 6. I think that's a pretty good score, isn't it? As, oh boy, the Portuguese player is like, thank you very much, I'm gonna lame you. And takes that the elephant to himself. Now, ironically, what you could do now is let green lame you and make the Mongol player have a crazy uptime. You could totally do that. Now that blue has 2 elephants, you can give 1 elephant to green, right? Who really benefits from that. I say that the pocket would benefit more from having an extra elephant than the flank would. Right, as green is trying to snipe a Vil, but he does almost lose the fight. But has to disengage now because red enlisted the help of a villager. But blue now is like, hey, I can snipe that scout. There you go, comes in from the north, from the hill as well, gets the scout before red reacts, and the scout is dead, which is a big deal because red has not even really scouted, hasn't really even scouted blue yet. So he scouted a little bit, but not a whole lot. Blue also with 3 elephants now. Man, blue is such a greedy bastard here. He's not even going to give that elephant to green. Would have been a good strategy, actually. If you can do it, right? If you can get a lame guy going, that's good. As teal and orange duking it out in the wood line, but teal taking 1 extra hit here is abandoning this fight with the scout, but brings in a villager. The scout for orange is trapped. It can't get out over here. It's kind of stuck. And orange losing his scout also. Team Secretito is without scouts now. Well, except for purple, who still has his scouts. But yeah, that's a big deal, actually, because now orange also doesn't know anything about teal space. He knows a little bit about the gold position, but he doesn't know anything else about what teal's going to do. If he's going to go for aggression, if he's going to go YOLO with a villager. We don't know now. So, Trisky, you are without eyes and ears now. So, and I think any military commander can tell you that having intel in your enemy movements is vital to victory. There's a lot of planning that goes prior to all those famous battles in history that we are always talking about. I think you can always say that the real battle is actually before the battle. You know, planning, logistics, intelligence, spying, troop movements. You know, those kind of boring things. Huh? They are not as sexy and fancy as battles. That is true. That is certainly true. Alrighty, so what can we expect here from both sides? Now, for one, I am fairly certain that Team Secretito here wants to at least go for a siege push with Celts, because Celts lack Bracer, they lack Arbalest, so late game they kind of suck as a flank civ. But in Castellate, you can get your monks out, you can go for a basic Wong rush against your opponent, and because you're so close by, it's very difficult for your opponent to stop that. You know, normally you can snipe the villager as it moves across the map, but now you can drop a siege workshop here and it has the same effect. It's basically part of your base too. Right, I like that Teal's kind of walling his base. I think even though you're so close to your opponent, you should wall, right? Especially because you're so close to your opponent. Wall, even if you don't wall everything, if you don't go for a complete team wall, to still have a wall that limits the maneuverability from your opponent is still a good idea. As the Mongol player pushed in all his hunt, is taking in the elephants as well, and the uptime should be okay. As Mongol players on gold. What is the plan here? What are we gonna do? Are we gonna go men at arms? Are we gonna go archers with the pocket? What is this? Alright then, that's kind of strange. Why not scouts? Alright, well, it will be scouts, of course, for the Teuton player. Now, the Teuton player will be kind of on the back foot to the Mongol player. Not really. It's still both have generic scouts, except that green has more line of sight, which means he can spot enemy armies a lot earlier. Something tells me it's not going to just be a scout war here, because as you can see, Juan Caimon with his forward buildings again. Here we go, a forward barracks, which red does not know about. And he won't know about it because he doesn't have a scout. So he's looking for more hunt. There is none. He might see it though. Ooh, he's going to the wood line over here. Oh, he's so close to seeing it. Oh, he's so close. He's 1 tile away. 1 tile. He would have seen this. Yeah. That's bad luck for red. Because now he's going to be surprised probably by the military that will be coming forth from there. And men-at-arms it is for the Portuguese player. Which are cheaper, by the way, on the gold. starting at feudal age, probably. Not sure if that applies to men-at-arms then. Alright, well, purple opting to wall in his wood line, and he is getting some scouts out now. Green, though, is being chased by the scout. Green, don't give blue away. Yeah, Green realized where he was going with the scout. He's going to direct this scout the other way so that purple doesn't scout this until blue is ready. Unfortunately, blue doesn't see these villagers, so he doesn't know that red is actually chopping wood here. That's bad luck, actually, for blue, because now red, yeah, now he notices it. And blue might be surprised by this before the archer range goes up. Oh, blue trying to go for a quick wall. No, he's not going to get it. He's going to have to bring back his men-at-arms now, which ran into the DC. I think if he gets those men-at-arms over here, he can take a fight. Although red is probably going to try to wall this in with a gate. No? Okay, no. No, but red is aware that this is happening now. What's teal doing? Teal also with men-at-arms. At least, well, it looks like a drush, actually. Because... well, not a drush, but, you know, a feudal age rush, because he's not getting the upgrade, he only made 2. So I think this is just to delay the Kelp player, honestly. Which the Kelp player is just going to try to fast castle into a Wong rush. The best way to counter that is actually to counter his drush, so... you know, going men-at-arms is actually a great counter against that. Because men-at-arms completely destroy militia, obviously. Although Kelp should be able to run away from any and all fights, having better speed on their infantry. Here comes Green, though. Green is actually making scouts. He is actually making scouts, but he is on gold as well. That I don't understand. Because he's got gold, but he's not using it. So what, are we going to buy our way up, or what's the plan here? Do we want bloodlines as an upgrade? I'm not sure. Alright, archers out now for the Portuguese player. Versus Tatar archers are technically better, but only if they're on top of a hill, which unfortunately for red, there is no hills in the south. So if blue takes position here, then the Tatar player cannot take a beneficial engagement that favors him instead of his opponent. Alright, purple trying to break through, gets through the walls, also manages to snipe a village that was probably building that wall, so the wall is not up, and now teal is going to have to find a way to deal with that. Probably the best way to do that is to send in the reinforcements from green, as green does come in, but there's more scouts here for the Teuton player. Remember, they don't have any melee armor just yet, or at least not extra. Unless you got upgrades, which purple did get upgrades, so that's where the melee armor came from. Green taking the fight, it's downhill, so green should be very careful here. I think he needs some help here from maybe a spearman or something like that. Something to take a fight here, as green is slowly losing numbers here to purple with the overwhelming scouts numbers. On the other side, red is still being super annoying. Has some spearmen though. Manages to kill the scout from red, as red is trying to defend himself with skirmishes, which is good that he tries to do that at least. That counters both the spearmen and the archers at the same time, especially if you're not taking gold at the moment. Red is also making scouts. Do you see that? Oh boy, oh boy. Alright, teal's going to double wall the left side to still keep orange out, as orange is so far defended. Didn't take too much damage for teal, as green manages to get the wall up. That's going to force the scouts to go to green's base if they want to go to teal's base after that. What? There's a hole! Oh, there's a hole! You gotta be kidding me, right? Ah, so purple scouts still managed to get in. There's only one spearman for teal to defend that. These scouts do have upgrades, and purple is investing a lot in his scouts. He got attack as well. No bloodlines just yet. As he's fighting at our town center though. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. The spearman stays alive. Wow. Hero spearman gets 2 kills. Wow. What a boss. Look at this guy. He may look like a little shrimp, but trust me, this guy, he packs a punch against cavalry, man. Alright, villagers on the gold are walled in, so purple can't really do anything over there. Orange trying to break through, as teal is trying to hold that off with archers, as purple tries to break in to kill this lonely villager. Same time, green. Oh, green finding the villagers on wood here that red had kept on wood in the meantime, as green is now going to instead attack the skirmishers so that blue can finish the job. And blue can run in. Red walling in his vills, but that's not going to save you from archers. No, no, no. Purple managed to kill 1 villager, is now running into the TC fire once again to snipe the archers for teal, as teal sits under the DC, so the scouts cannot fight there for a prolonged duration. You can even save your archers and hide them in the DC, so the DC fires even more arrows. Purple also attacking green at the same time, as green is not really making a lot of scouts. Not so sure about that one. It's still a Vil lead for Mancos Walleros. No surprises about that. Green is still busy harassing Red. And Red is taking a lot of damage now. Red has lost 6 villagers in total. And that number is going to go higher a little bit here, as he can defend himself against this combo. And Purple still has refused to really help him on that side. Problem is that Teal is also suffering some losses here. He lost 2 villagers after all. And also lost a lot of his army. Only 2 archers remain for Teal. So Teal does not have anything to defend himself against this. Especially to defend himself against this. Because if Orange breaks in, you can't defend yourself with Spearmen anymore. Teal's not making any Spearmen either. I think he should. Make some Spearmen to kill this before Orange breaks in. After which you won't be able to defend yourself anymore. This is a very, very, very aggressive matchup. But Orange, who has been kind of sitting back here, now on the way to Castle Age. Things are about to get dangerous on the left-hand side. Teal, still forever feudal at the moment. He doesn't have a very big economy to speak of, as he ran out of food as well. As a result, lots of idle TC time now. He needs to build farms. He has the wood for it. Teal, you should be building farms, my man. You need farms for food. As Teal refuses to build any. Oh, he couldn't. He didn't have a mill yet. Oh, no wonder there were no farms. Yeah, now he's going to try to drop a market to maybe sell the wood, buy his way up. But things are not looking good on the left-hand side. As they are on the right-hand side, not so good either for Red. As Red is down to 21 villagers. How many vills did he lose by now? 13. Ow. So Red is almost also in a very bad position at the moment. Ay. Alright, well, Purple and Orange have finally broken through, and now Green is going to have to help Teal, because Teal is in a bad position. Teal throwing away his archers against skirmishers, and again, Orange, who is in the Castle Age almost, just buying time to, to get this push going, and, you know, get his siege out. There you go, that's what I wanted to say. Probably the plan. You mark my words, siege will be coming. Celts may ETC this game. We all know that Celts love to do that, so there you go. Alright, well, Green bringing in a Spearman, but yeah, now that Orange is here, Purple never has to fight that. Purple on the way to Castle Age as well. Green, not so much. Not so sure why Green's uptime is so bad, actually, you know, because I guess he didn't get his farming economy up in time. You know, he doesn't really have the food. He's been producing a lot of with Scouts and Spearmen, but not as much as Purple. And Purple still has the better uptime, so... Scouts finally go down now to the Spearmen. As a result, a few Scouts can maybe do a little bit of damage to these skirmishers, as Teal is still struggling to hold his own. And let's see, is Orange going to come forward with Siege? That's the big question. If he does, Teal's going to have a bad time. The lead skirm now for Orange, so at least he has a nice force against the archers for the Bohemian player, who's going to have to find something else to do to counter this. Archers were over here trying to hit Purple, but Purple can now make Knights, and Blue, you know, it's like, you know what, I'm gonna get out of here, and indeed, out of here he goes. But Purple spots that army, and now Blue's gonna have to micro his heart out to try to kill these Scouts, but these Scouts have upgrades, they have bloodlines. They're gonna be able to clean up this army. Mancos Walleros behind in military count, significantly so now. This is not looking too good for Mancos Walleros. They still have the villager lead, they still have a team wall-ish. You know, it's kind of open in parts, but it's alright. Again, Blue with a stable. Blue likes this cavalry. Why don't you let Blue play pocket if he wants to play cavalry all the time, man? Jeez. Alright, Portuguese get okay knights. You know, they're actually discounted. They cost less gold as well, but... yeah. Well, I mean, at least the Tatar player get horrendous infantry, so it's not like the Tatar player can just go full pikeman to counter you. I mean, he can, but it's not going to be very good. Alright, let me reposition here for a second. Alright. What's going on this side? Purple trying to break through the walls in Green's base to let the Knights in as well. The Teuton Knights are here. Oh boy, and look at those Knights. Extra melee armor. They have 5 melee armor. Much stronger than Mongol Knights. And Mongols, you know, they lack the final armor upgrade as well. So especially in Imperial Age, Teutons dominate Mongols in these kind of closed quarter maps. If the Mongol player can get Mangudai out, that's a whole different story. Mongols certainly counter Teutons normally. It's a straight counter, you'd say. But in the team game on Notsakotra, Mongols may actually struggle. Red coming forward as well, and I'm just not seeing a whole lot of military at the moment from Mancos Walleros. And they should be very careful, because they lost the second game because they were so far behind in military numbers. They need to get that military pop-up. You know, as Blue clicks is up on the way to castles, he's walling out this army for the time being, and he does a good job at that, as Purple looks for another way in. As Blue manages to get most of the walls up at the same time. Still a hole there, though. But Purple has a different target in mind. The target being the Mongol player who's making camels. Yeah, you can't go toe-to-toe with new Teuton Knights here. He has to make camels. Now, luckily, because of the early aggression, both orange and red made skirmishers. And skirmishers don't kill camels as easily, do they? No, they don't. So this is actually not too bad for green. What's going on this side? As Teal probably tried to re-wall this, that did not work, and the stable will go down. Again, why a Bohemian stable? Guys, come on. I mean, like, I know you guys love your flank stables, but Bohemian Knights, really? Bohemians don't get the final armor crate, they don't get bloodlines either. They're really bad as cavalry set. Just make your own skirms, right? Make your own skirms counter it. Or better, make siege and archers. Counter what the Kelp player is doing. Anyway. Ooh, red skirmishers getting cleaned up there by the camels. Like I said, skirmishers do not kill camels like crossbows, unlike crossbows. So yeah, luckily because of that early aggression from blue and green on red, red only making skirmishers can't actually help purple. And then suddenly, without any crossbows there, suddenly the camel player can beat the Teuton player. This is a very, very interesting situation. Alright, well, green now sending his mass to the other side to bail out Teal, who finally got his farms up, but it's still going to be a few minutes before he will be able to afford the next age. Teal makes a bigger hole. Camels, though, still lacking that pierce armor a little bit. You know, they still only have the second one. So even this many elite skirms actually doing an okay job at killing the camels. So yeah. As the Kelp player made infantry. Wow, when do you ever get to see that? Cool. What are you up against? The Mesosev? Now, of course, infantry, of course, helps you break through buildings a lot faster because they get arson and, of course, already a bonus versus buildings as you can see. +3, and then with arson, that just gets better. Or is that arson? No, that's without arson. There's, ooh, some hidden goats there. I was wondering what that was. Okay, red's now walling behind as here come the knights for the Portuguese player. And because red is making mostly skirmishers and spearmen, he's going to have a hard time dealing with that. So blue, with the better economy as well, 52 villagers versus 36, will be able to hold on. The question is, can Teal hold on? That's the question. Teal cannot make any military at the moment. I think he could prepare some skirmishers already, but he's trying to get up to the feudal as fast as possible. Try to wall in Orange's archers, as Orange is now getting attacked by the camels once again. Of course, microing this is kind of difficult because if they get within minimum range, then the skirmishers won't fire as much anymore. As the camels are slowly cleaning up these skirmishers, and without the skirms, there's no hope for the Teuton Knights to kill these camels. Longsword's not doing half bad, but there's a few knights in here that definitely helps as well, as green contents himself with cleaning up this forward force. Same time, there's one knight over here now, and purple is not sending his military to deal with that. He sent one knight, I think, or not. Skirmishers dealing with that. All right then. You get whatever floats your boat, I guess. Purple now with a renewed attack forward on Teal. They know that Teal is the weaker player. The weaker player here. The weaker position is the better term. As Teal's going to stonewall up the side to create a little funnel to make sure that it's easier for them to defend. Yeah, that makes sense. But did you play the campaigns or something against the AI? Because that's exactly what you want to do. Never fully wall your base. Always make a little choke point, because the AI will just relentlessly send their units right through that, and you can kill those quite easily, huh? But purple, he doesn't like that. He's like, you know what? No funnel for you, no choke point. I'll just make my own way in. Kills the archer raiders so that Teal can never get any military out. Now we have a lot of pikemen coming out for the Kelp player. That is going to be a problem, a big problem for the camel player here. Mongols have 56 villagers. It's 56 villagers also for the Teuton player, but he has way more military at the moment. But the Teuton player once again having to deal with a raid, and this time that's a lot of knights from the Portuguese player. They lack some upgrades, though. They can certainly not go toe-to-toe with the Teuton army. So instead, we're just raiding. And look what's happening. What's the Teuton player doing? He's sending his knights right back home to his base, not putting pressure on Teal. Teal now makes it to the castle in good fashion, and Teal should probably just get some archers out. That's what you want to be doing here. Because you need to be able to kill these pikemen. That's the most important thing. Because going double stable units here would be silly. Blue's still raiding. How many villagers did blue kill? Ooh, 12 villager kills for blue. That's really good, actually. So blue, yeah, he's now getting attacked by the Tatar pikemen, which lack both the second and the third armor upgrade. So they're really bad in the late game. They're kind of bad now as well. With enough knights, you should be able to kill this. The problem is, look at all this army over here now. It's all over here. It is not over here pushing Teal. This is buying Teal valuable time to get his defenses up and to get some crossbows out. And if Teal gets some crossbows out, he should be able to hold this pressure together with the camels, because those pikemen will die. Yeah, green, I just ignore it. What you want to do here, blue, just draw this army into the TC, so it gets fired upon. It's green, oh, green, 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 green. Oh, green gets stuck from two sides. What a mistake. Why? Why did he move out, green? I can't believe this. Oh, what a trap. What good luck for Team Secretito to have both their armies there at the same time. And green's entire army getting wiped out there now. Yeah, with pikemen from the left and Teuton knights from the right, you're just stuck between a rock and a hard place as both sides are engaged in a desperate struggle. Now the pikemen have disappeared as well. They're not on the right side, and the camels are doing a number to the Teuton knights, but only because they're Teuton knights. They're still holding their own, and that was a huge fight, and a necessary fight, to be honest, because now the camels are going to have to help against these rams that the Kel player was sending forward. Kel player, instead of going for mangonels, he goes for rams. I think that's a bit of overconfidence, because you would not send in rams if you thought there would be melee units or archers there. Instead, you would go for mangonels, which is the better unit, obviously, against the archers. And now the crossbows firing at the pikemen means that green, as long as he keeps some military here, he should be able to hold that front. Here comes purple, though. He knows those crossbows need to be sniped. He goes right in. Teal should garrison the villagers right now. Garrison the vills, Teal. Garrison the vills. Teal. Okay, there you go. There you go. Almost forgot. It's red. Oh, red bringing over the pikemen. Orange bringing over the pikemen. The camels have disappeared after that disastrous fall. Kind of Pyrrhic victory for them, or loss, whatever you want to call it. Now there's not enough camels anymore to defend Teal. Teal has only 11. Well, he's making crossbows. There's not a whole lot of them right there. Actually, they're mostly in the TC at the moment. It's still tricky. The defense of the left side's not over. That means we should look on the right-hand side, as we have some crossbows for the Portuguese player and knights at the same time. He's making both, which means that the Tatar player can't defend himself with pikemen anymore because there's crossbows. This may prompt purple to go to the right-hand side as well. There you go. Yep, purple sending his knights away once more, and again, orange is on his own. And without purple there, he can't siege push because his siege will just get sniped by green, who is sending his army to the left. I think he's just gonna leave blue defend on his own. As blue is getting hit now, he's just trying to kill as many villagers as he can. That was successful, of course, the first game as well. So he's just going to try to replicate that. No Balkan arrow yet, but I don't think it's smart to invest in both crossbows and knights at the same time. So, there you go. He's also making light cap now. So light cap and crossbows it will be for the Portuguese player. He does have 86 villagers. Portuguese player's got a large economy. He can actually afford all of that as well. It is 75 villagers for green, only 56 for purple, who has remained 1 TC, which means he is all in. You know, that was the plan. They go for an all-in siege push with Celts. Unfortunately, nothing has materialized. Nothing has materialized so far. Mancos Walleros with 212 villagers versus just 150 for Team Secretito. Also, Mancos Walleros have a similar number of military here. So that does not bode well for Team Secretito at all, actually. We have rams now coming out for blue, but those rams can't get anywhere close to this mangonel. Blue, of course, also can't fight. I mean, green can't fight this giant mass of Teuton cavalry just yet, unless red is there. Red is not there though, so. Alright, well, he's gonna have to, because here come the Teutons forcing a fight, and Teutons, when they force a fight, are scary. And look at that, 24 knights, only 7 camels. Is it gonna be enough? The Teuton player seems to think so. So he's gonna send his military back. The pikemen are now in position as well, and now Red is gonna have to really help his teammate snipe those. At the same time, the Teuton player, who is all in now, right? All in, because he's too far behind in economy at this point to catch up. He's sending military to both sides to force fights. If they can force a decisive engagement on either side, this could be good. Green now sniping the Mangonel. This means that blue can now finally be close by. Blue sending in some of his economy. Don't give them free eco. Blue losing some vills there. Camels now to the rescue. The pikeman still not in position. I don't know, red kind of distracted, it seems. Every time he leaves purple, green has an opportunity to attack purple, because purple can't take a fight against this anymore. There's too many camels there. At the same time though, purple also sending in the knights to kill the Bohemian player. There is a Mangonel there. Purple should snipe that right now. Purple too busy hitting the chemistry crossbows for the Bohemian player, which means that they kill knights a lot faster. So that allows Teal to stay on his own for a little bit longer. But the Rams are here. They are Celtic Rams. They're closing in fast, and Teal is fast losing his pace. So they better put a push on red soon. As green is sending his army to the left-hand side to save his embittered flank. Imperial Age as well for the Celt player. Nice stuff. Alright then. There's too many pikemen there for green. The Celt down, and the Celts eating a TC there with Rams. It goes really fast, doesn't it? Because those Rams attack so fast. 5 of them will level this down, and Teal's gonna have to find a way to kill this. As we have a massive fight, a massive cavalry melee in the middle of the map. Let's have a look at that. There is way more army there for the Teuton player, but there's lots of camels in there as well. The Mongol player still making camels because he has to. He's sprinkling in the knights. But those knights, of course, are far inferior to the Teuton horde. That's so much military still for purple. As green is just going to go for an attack here. Also killing this knight so that it can't kill the battering rams, which are taking out a stable for purple. As purple is going to attempt to take that down. Splitting up his army. As a result, this forward vanguard is actually going to get cleaned up by green. Again, these little fights are going to matter a lot. There you go. It evens out the numbers significantly because green lost way fewer numbers there than purple did. Purple now will make short work of the Rams. What's happening on the other side? We have blue still overwhelming on this side. Blue could also help against the Teuton player. They need a decisive engagement here. The Tatar player is at 40 villagers. He's trying to make some cavalry archers, but I don't think that red is going to be able to do too much for his team here. He's too far behind, and Tatars. That's not good. Then we have Capped Ram now coming forward. As Teal is probably telling his teammates like, yeah, I can't kill Rams, you guys. And like, that's like straight counter. And Teal, with only 37 villagers, simply does not have the economy to keep producing a lot more military. It's all gonna come down on the right-hand side. As all Orange's halberdiers have gone down. Well, hey, this is funny. Look, these were pikemen when they died, and these became halberdiers, and then they still died. That's funny. Right, blue still has crossbows. He can definitely kill those halberdiers, but he needs to be careful for the Teuton army. As green was raiding once again, but still, with camels you can't really kill a whole lot, can you? Capped Rams getting cleaned up by the camels on the left-hand side as green is spamming them in on this side as well because he needs to keep his team alive. A giant melee draw on the left-hand side, right-hand side though, as blue's trying to microwave from the battlefield. Green trying to buy his teammates some time as blue does make it back within range of the castle. A castle that is making organ guns now. That may prove very effective against the Tatar player because what is the Tatar player going to do against that one? These organ guns outrange your town. Well, yeah, they outrange your town center, so you can actually kill that with organ guns, which is fairly annoying. And also, if blue actually starts to threaten red's life too much, purple may decide that he needs to stay on the right-hand side, which will weaken the Imperial Age push from orange, who is still preparing for yet another attack. Yeah, purple's still skirmishing with green. Green on the way to Imperial Age though, as purple, who's not making knights at the moment, probably wants to do the same thing and get some Teuton cavaliers out while he still can. Purple also sending his knights to the left-hand side now. This looks like one more coordinated attack here on Teal's base. Teal once again just trying to defend himself with skirmishers, but he's not going to be able to hold both of this. Siege coming out once again. Here come the Capped Rams. Here come the Teuton Knights. The Berber player probably on the way as well to reinforce this. But he can't go around. He has to go. He can't go through. He has to go around. So Teal getting overrun at the moment. He's trying to hide his skirmishers between these archer rangers so they can't get killed as easily. If Teal can snipe halberdiers, that would be really good. That will definitely help green clean this up. Green on the way to imp with 98 villagers. If he gets there, he will have the better economy. He will be able to outspam his opponent. At the same time, yeah, organ guns for blue, as blue is also poised to click up as well as he levels parts of red's base as well. But rams with organ guns, this is fine. We got crossbows now. Oh, crossbows hitting purple on the back. Purple, whose army is in the front, still trying to kill teal. But honestly, kicking a player while he's down, I'm not sure how much that's going to add, as now the raids are happening all over Team Secretito's base. They are losing economy fast. It's 255 eco versus 121. It's only 68 military for Team Secretito. They can't take fights on the front and defend their own base at the same time. As green, yeah, is spamming in some cavalry, well, in a desperate attempt to kill more of Purple's army. You know, the halberdiers he here, but honestly, teal is kind of dead already. I think taking out teal is not really helping you so much. The real threat here is blue. The real threat here is green, and they know it. Good luck next. Got in la final. Win the final as Team Secretito tap out on their home map, giving the win to Mancos Walleros. And Mancos Walleros move on to the finals, having just defeated the the incumbent champions from last Virgo Cup. Quite defeat. Ah, what a heartbreaker. Team Secretito, they played so well during the group stages, and you know, they were dominating teams around them, you know, most of the time, but they finally met their match in Mancos Walleros, the one-armed Wallers. Yes, yes, yes. Wow, wow, wow. This was a really good series. This was really close, you know, and I think Mancos Walleros, they certainly are looking good to win the championship, you know. I mean, they definitely deserve it now, having beaten Team Secretito, which again is a really difficult thing to do as well. How heartbroken Team Secretito must be, you know. They got so far last time, and now, unfortunately, they're not going to be able to defend the crown. Nope, the crown will now go to another team. Another champion will be crowned this Saturday. Well, I mean, has already been crowned, but I'm going to cast it being crowned on Saturday. But yeah, this game, man, you saw what Team Secretito wanted to do. The Tatar player was supposed to hold on the right. I don't think that red needed to really push blue. That wasn't the plan. The plan was for the Teutons to go all in with knights, make a lot of military, which again, Team Secretito is really good at doing that. You know, they make a lot of military. Then, together with the Celts, they would go for a siege push, overwhelm the left flank, or the right wing, I guess, for because you need to flip it around, of course, for an army. The right wing of the Mancos Walleros army, overwhelm that with siege, with knights, and then get a win then. And of course, with halberdiers, that would be really difficult to defend. Once teal is dead, because then there won't be archers anymore, and green is going to have to send in lots of stuff, right? The problem was that teal managed to hold on barely, beating back wave after wave of... Ow. Oh, crap, I hit my leg. Managing to beat off wave after wave of Team Secretito soldiers. I think the fact that purple also had to continuously help red definitely also slowed down the Celtic push as well. And green did a great job, you know, holding on with those camels as well, taking fights wherever he could to slow down the Teuton player while he was getting his own economy rolling. And the longer the game went, the more difficult it would get for Team Secretito. They would fall behind a military count. Red was down to 9 villagers. 9 villagers only for red, and that wouldn't have lasted long. That means that the Teuton player would have to defend his own base so that the Celt player was on his own. Now, if teal was completely dead, right, then this would be doable. The problem is, purple is far behind in economy, so blue and green will be able to overwhelm him, and teal was still kind of, I mean, he was alive enough, right? He was still over there where he could always be a threat, which forces orange and purple to first deal with this. And then, of course, they can't run into green's base just yet to do the same thing to them. Yeah. I mean, it's been a consistent trend this series that Mancos Walleros out booming Team Secretito, and if the game just goes long enough, and Team Secretito, you know, doesn't, you know, get that instant kill with that wave of military that they sent their way at Mancos Walleros, then the latter team has a good chance of winning. Because again, I mean, look at the military production. Not half bad there for Team Secretito. I mean, blue definitely outproduced everyone. Wow, 209. Jesus Christ. Blue had 80 military on the field at the end there. And like a little bit of everything. Got some organ guns, some knights, some light caps, some crossbows, just everything. Did I say that Portuguese get a gold discount on all their units? You can see where that comes in handily if you could try to go for an AI army of just virtually every unit that you can make. Alright, but yeah, the KDs. Now, Teal's KD, of course, was never going to be good, but Green's KD was pretty good. That means that the fights he was taking as a Teuton player, of course, he managed to get a few good ones without Orange or Red being able to help with Pikemen. And that was important. Economy-wise, of course, yeah, Mancos Walleros' economy overall the better economy, as you can see, especially between Purple and Green. Yeah, Purple, he wanted to go all in, so then you can invest in a lot of economy, and the longer the game goes, the further behind you fall. Alright, let's have a look at the APM. The fastest player was Juan Caimon once more. There you go. But I would like to say, congratulations to Mancos Walleros for winning the series with an awesome series it was. Of course, good luck next time for Team Secretito. They can be proud of their performance even if they weren't able to get to the finals this time. They played like beasts and they went down fighting honorably. GG!